I'm
understanding. And
accepting
I'm
it.
not going to agree with you regardless. So let's move on from.
Okay, I'm just. I guess where I'm lost is the idea that an American citizen is not entitled to due process. That's where you threw me off at.
He ain't entitled to due process, Tim. Everybody's entitled to due process. I just don't believe him. I don't care what kind of process you give him. And that's my belief. And that's what I'm going to stand on, whether you give him due process or not. I believe those ladies.
Okay.
I believe the girl who said stuff. I believe that his actions in the past has proven to me that he is capable of some of the stuff he's been accused of.
Did he do the right thing by Venezuelans? They're happy, they're celebrating. Even in this damn country, they're in the street cheering on what he did. Did he do a good thing by the Venezuelan citizens?
What's funny to me is y'all over here dancing and he trying to send y'all back. But anyway, yeah, Tim, I think it was a good thing.
All right.
Let me tell you what I don't agree with. When he said that he didn't tell Congress because they got leakers. But on the plane, you said you called and told the oil people ahead of time and after. So you trust the oil companies more than you trust Congress?
Well, the telling the oil people, it probably.
Letting you know I'm finna go over here and do this so you can get this oil.
Well, chances are the answer to your question is probably yes. He probably do trust him because he know the liberals in Congress probably would have leaked it.
Let me say this, Tim. Ain't nobody stand on Trump. That number one. Number two, he went over there for the wrong thing. You cannot be a president and run the country without the Congress. You cannot keep overlooking what the Constitution says because you think you got leakers when you got whiskey leaks all in your administration texting out stuff that ain't even supposed to be texted out to news anchors. That's your leak right there.
Well, look, at the end of the day, you made it clear you're not going to accept anything this guy says. Let me just ask you, before I move it on, let me ask you this. Right now, the price of gas is $2.20 cents a gallon in some places, even lower in others. And now with the Venezuelan oil thing, you may see it drop even further in this country. Is the man doing right by the price of gas? Are we celebrating or what in terms of how cheap it is to buy gas in this country?
We can buy the gas and then we get to the store. We can't buy the groceries. Baby, I can catch the bus to the store if I can afford the groceries. But me having gas in my car to ride to the store and when I get there, I ain't got no money for groceries. No, baby, I don't consider that a win at all.
You don't consider gas prices this low?
No, child.
Is there anything this man can do to get credit from you?
Not a thing.
So, how do you respond to folks who might suggest you have an acute case of TDS?
It's not TDS. I don't like him. I've already told you I don't like people who manipulate other people who they know lack understanding. He uses MAGA. He talks about them. They don't even understand. He talks about them. When that man said smart people don't like me, that was an insult to MAGA and they laughed about it. I don't like people like that. I don't like people that use people to get what they want. You still begging for money. You got plenty of money. Why are you asking your supporters for money and everybody's struggling?
Is he still asking?
Why would you keep doing that?
I haven't heard that. What is he doing?
The last email was for $47.
Wow.
Before the year end.
Yeah, but it could be for other candidates going forward to the midterms.
Tim, it was not. And my thing is this. If you know people are struggling, stop begging when you already got plenty of money, Donald Trump.
But that's not how politics works, Takesha.
I don't care. If he loved them like he said he do, and he want the best for them, Tim, he wouldn't be asking for the little money that they making. I'm sorry, I just don't. They're just like me going to what a homeless people asking them, can I have a sandwich? Somebody just bought them, knowing they ain't got no money to buy another one.
Last question. Would Kamala Harris have liberated the Venezuelan people?
I don't know. She ain't in office. How do I know what she would have done if she didn't get the chance? I don't speak on stuff I don't know nothing about. If she had done it, okay. If she hadn't, okay. But I can't say because she never got the chance. And I'm not going to speak on nothing that I don't know nothing about.
All right. I'll leave it at that, Takesha. You didn't make it easy as always, but I always enjoy talking to you. Thanks
Have
for coming
a great
through.
one.
You too. By the way, folks, tap the screen. Get the likes on up to 25,000. We can make that happen if you let your thumbs up. Be lazy. Dark side writer says Trumpy Dumpty only cares about the oil. He doesn't care about Americans or Venezuelans. It's all about that crazy ass oil. You know, based on what I'm seeing, it is hard to deny that it looks that way, because as I pointed out a moment ago, everybody knew that Maduro was oppressing the people in his country. In my monitor here, everybody knew that Maduro was oppressive to his people, even during the Biden administration, even during Trump's first administration. He's been viewed as an illegitimate president. So interest rates way up, people starving, going hungry, all kinds of shit in his country. And people are fleeing Venezuela and, seeking refuge in other countries. A lot of them came here under the Biden administration. A lot of Venezuelans came here trying to escape that oppressive, awful regime. Trump became president, and he was trying to send them back to that awful Maduro regime, knowing that it was awful and oppressive. Trump knew what he was trying to send them back to. Maduro refused to take them back. Trump started sending them to El Salvador, the prison that's down there, CICA. He then just, if they're not going to take you in Venezuela, then we'll send you to El Salvador, Africa, wherever we can find. So it does leave a good argument to suggest that Trump doesn't appear to just care about the Venezuelan people. It might be oil related. And in pursuit of trying to get in control of the oil and getting rid of Maduro, it benefited the Venezuelan people. So the Venezuelan people being liberated and benefiting from it was a side effect as opposed to the intended goal. So we're talking about it from that aspect. EBT community man. Do you think that if you defend white people enough, that you'll be white? My black ass has no chance of being white, no desire to be white. No. And I don't see how I'm defending white people. And that's an interesting question, by the way. Real quick before we continue on, tap the screen, get us up to 25,000. We'll take the next caller. Chino Mac says Maduro was working with the cartel and they were bringing drugs into this country. Watch their news. Venezuelans are celebrating right now. Like it or not, that is 100% true. They are celebrating. As I just stated, Trump has given them a reason to celebrate. But that don't mean that was the intended goal. Listen, if somebody is trying to break into your home and rip you off, and during the time while they're in the midst of doing that, you find out you got a fire in the basement and you flee and it saves your life, the burglar wasn't trying to save you. It just happened to be an effect of what he was doing that woke you up and allowed you to get out. Do you go out and thank the burglar? I mean, I'm just letting you know. My guess is, my personal belief is, what Trump did for the Venezuelan people was not the intended goal, but it was a consequence of what he was doing. That's, like I said, because he was literally deporting people back to Maduro, it's hard to believe that he would be concerned for the welfare of Venezuelans while trying to do that. So that's my opinion on it. Real quick in the comments, before I make sure I didn't miss anything here. Handsome Conservative, good evening. Says, here's to the awesome, handsome liberal. I'm a little bit less than awesome today. I'm battling the flu still getting over it. Still feel slightly better than shit, far less than good. But I appreciate all you folks that are riding with your boy. We're here most weekdays, by the way. We are MAGA friendly. Always have been, always will be. If you enjoy open dialogue from all sides of the aisle, without any concern of the host trying to block, ban, or censor you for your comments, because this is uncensored programming, feel free to follow the program if you're watching us live on Instagram or TikTok right now. Or if you're watching us live on YouTube, give your boy a sub. We're here most weekdays. The oil is short-term money. How can the oil be short-term money? It says the oil is short-term money. They want the rare earth minerals and exploitation rights. Could be. Listen, I know that we're not just doing this out of the kindness of our hearts of Venezuelans. I know that. Me Too says you should look up Lev Palmas. He went to prison for fraud while working for Trump and has insiders who okay, you got, I guess you say, who tells him what's going on. BTS. I don't quite get what you're saying, but a lot of what the woman was saying is correct. This was all planned. Okay, so you're talking about my last caller. Well, I will say this, and I see Man versus Hawk, love the name, says this lady is brainwashed in reference to my last caller. I will say this. It does seem unusual that a country the size of Venezuela, with a little bit of an army, you would be able to go in that country and snatch its president out without having to kill anybody. Without having to kill anybody. I'm just going to, it makes no sense that that could happen without somebody giving a standing order not to shoot back or something of that nature. It would not surprise me if Maduro was given an offer by Trump that he couldn't refuse and surrendered. But surrendered in a way that it would look, allow America to do what it wanted to do and make it look like, we came in guns blazing like the cavalry. But to get a country that size to fall and literally snatch the president out of that country, they still got mercenaries and all kinds of shit roaming around him. Cuban mercenaries. I forget how large they said the size of his army is, but he definitely has enough people. Okay, you don't went to the complex where he lived at. I mean, you can't even do that to the cartel. You got motherfuckers walking around with AK-47s and shit on the lawn. You got to kill some of them people. You can't just go and take out the head of the cartel and bring them back with no holes in them, no scars, no scratches or nothing. That don't happen like that. Nobody fired a shot. Nobody got killed. It really is hard to believe that somehow, some way behind the scenes, somebody didn't surrender some stuff. Kind of like when my last caller was saying that this dude is going to spend the next few weeks or months or whatever sitting in a nice hotel room with his wife, eating caviar and shit, and ultimately end up, in exile somewhere in a nice, posh, luxurious island somewhere. But it really seems crazy that you could do this. I know we got superior military forces, but to do something like that without anybody being killed, that doesn't make sense. Trump said to Venezuela, drill, baby, drill. What great times for Donald J. Trump and MAGA. We keep winning, says T2. There's a lot of winning indeed. President Trump once stated, you're going to get tired of winning if you elect me. But I will tell you this, and I'll go to the box shortly here. President Trump is winning. You're not. It's like being a fan of who can I say? Tom Brady during the heyday of the New England Patriots. They're winning Super Bowl after Super Bowl, championship after championship. If you lived in Boston, we're getting tired of winning. You ain't winning shit. You're going to work tomorrow. Yeah, your team is winning. You get to go to the bar and have a few beers and celebrate with all the other Patriot fans, but you're not winning anything. You're just happy that your team is winning. Trump is winning. The average MAGA voter, your income is not going up to any great significance. Your side is winning. I get it. Your team is kicking ass. There's no denying. Your team is kicking ass. It ain't paying your rent. You got 2 jobs. You still got 2 jobs. So he is winning. There's no denying. Trump is winning, but it's not winning to the point where you look at how MAGA is doing financially and things like that. You look how the Democrats are doing financially, and all of a sudden you see this huge rise in MAGA finances and all. That ain't happening. That's happening with Trump. Trump is the one that's making a killing financially and things like that. A lot of his close associates are making a ton of money. If you're MAGA, you ain't probably in that category. You said the US dollar won, and what do we use? I don't get how the US dollars win. I guess you don't work overtime, says Scott. Yeah, I do. Too much sometimes. Can't afford groceries sounds like a personal problem. She is extremely uneducated. You guys really went in on my last caller. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and go to the next caller. The beginning of the American Union, NS America. What do you mean by that, Kyle? I don't quite get that. And Spider Lover says it's my birthday. So I'm spreading the good words in streams. Thank you, Spider. May your days be full of happiness and joy, and may all your dreams come true. Bless you all. That's a pretty good greeting. Thank you very much for that. All right, we'll go ahead and continue on. I'm curious. Wow, it's a hell of a lot of you folks in here today. This is not normal, but we'll certainly, there's a little bit more of you in here than normal. So I do want to see if I can bring you guys up momentarily here. So we'll go ahead and go straight to Germany. I didn't see you in there, Red. I did not see that. Why don't you talk about the attacks on Republicans? Hang on a second, Jeremy. Coffee Talk, what attacks on Republicans are you indicating? And Jeremy, give me, you voted for Trump. What are you seeing any attacks on Republicans?
I don't know what you mean by attacks. Like, do you mean like people are being insulted, or are you talking to like people?
I don't fucking know. I have a viewer in the comments saying, why don't you talk about the attacks on Republicans? I'm not aware of anything they're being attacked about. Oh, yeah, I mean, okay. Here he's talking about JD Vance's home. JD Vance's home was somebody attacked his home with a hammer, and I don't even think they even broke any glass, but that did happen today. I did hear about that.
Yeah, I know. There's some missing links in the human genome that apparently decide to do stupid stuff. They'll probably be prosecuted to the full extent.
Yeah, it's this young little white kid, white guy, looks like he's in his 20s. I've seen the photo of him and everything. I mean, there's not a lot to talk about to that. I mean, yeah, he went to the vice president's home, which is in Cincinnati, I think his home. Very stupid to do something like that. But I'm curious. What baffles me is how the hell could a citizen get close enough to the home of the vice president to do something like that? He could have been, I mean, he hit on the window with a hammer, but if he was somebody savvy, he could have been planting explosives or some shit like that. How did he get that close to the man's house?
No idea. It's definitely someone's getting fired, but I think but if I had to guess, the only reason why he got anywhere close to that is probably because the vice president wasn't there at the time.
Yeah. Could be
for sure.
And I see in the comments somebody said, "How the same viewer says, how many more attempts do we need before we realize there's something wrong with the Democrats?" Okay, so you don't count the attack on Melissa Hortman at her home or Nancy Pelosi's husband at his home. You think it's only the Republicans' houses that are getting fucked with, huh? There's plenty of Democrats. What is the governor of Pennsylvania? They set this shit on fire. He burned this house while he was in it. So,
hey, if you watch that video I sent you in the DMs, dude, you would know that the right is just more competent at committing violence than the left. The left just commits more of it, or at least attempts to.
It depends on who you talk to. I don't know about the competence or whatever, but I'm just simply saying that if you switch from left to right, you're not escaping political violence. If you go right to left, you're not. I mean, it's happening on both sides.
Yeah, that's true. So Maduro, our big guy, I get a little annoyed when people use the word kidnapping. It's like, no, he was like extradited because he was never a legitimate president after the election that he lost.
Well, what's the difference between the way we took him and a kidnapping? I mean, to me, I don't see a difference. I mean, if I came to your house right now, kicked in the door and had a Glock in my hand and said, "Get in the car," that's a kidnapping. That's the same thing we kind of did there. It's the same thing.
Authority. And
we don't have any authority. We don't have any authority in Venezuela.
We have the authority. We have the authority to take out illegitimate dictators.
No, we don't. No.
Like I know people don't want to hear this. Okay, like they'll say international law, or something stupid like that. But nobody respects international law. International law is a bunch of bullshit that was made up by a bunch of bureaucrats that had nothing better to do that wanted to interrupt the sovereignty of nations.
So let me ask it to you this way, because a few years ago, our president did not want, at the time, Vice President Mike Pence to certify the election, which would have kept him in office longer than he was supposed to be, making him officially.
And what happened, Tim?
Huh?
And what happened?
No. We know what happened. I'm saying, though, if Mike Pence had it been J.D. Vance, for instance, J.D. Vance would have done what he was asking. What I'm asking is, though, if Mike Pence or a vice president did Trump's bidding, refused to certify the election, and allowed Trump to stay in place longer than he should have, making him an illegitimate president at that time, would you have supported somebody coming into the United States and grabbing him?
No, because Mike Pence has the power to do that.
No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. That's why Mike Pence didn't do it.
Yes, he does.
No, he does not.
He absolutely does. Okay, and you want to know what happens after that? They do a bunch of recounts, and eventually, if it's found on that there's any kind of illegitimacy to how the election was done, and President Trump stays in power, if there's not a thing, then Mike Pence has to certify.
Okay, well, I'll tell you right off the bat, Mike Pence did not, and in fact, Mike Pence stated in his book that I got, Mike Pence stated that he tried to actually adhere to Trump's request. And he was told by his own lawyers that if you do this, you're going to be dealing with cases for the rest of your life because this is not legal. He was told it's not legal.
Well, what they're saying is he does have the power to not certify it, but here's the thing: he doesn't have the power to not certify it without consequences.
No, he has to have for him to not certify the election. No, it's not just based on consequences. It has to be based on an actual circumstance. And Trump had nothing to present as a legitimate reason to do what he's asking. It was just, I think I won and you shouldn't certify it.
Like, we could go back and forth all day about whether or not Trump had a legitimate reason. I mean, like, the Democrats were saying bullshit like Russian hacks the first time and he won the election. So I don't see why they're complaining now about him doing the exact same thing.
Okay. I got to tell you, while I'm talking to you, I'm getting hammered by a lot of my viewers that are either left or most likely African American. One of my viewers, Even Horizon, is saying, "Hey man, you might be invited to their party, but you sure ain't dining with them." Why the hell is it that simply talking to MAGA drives a lot of black people insane? I know you're not black, so you can't answer that, but go ahead.
No. I can absolutely answer that because it's not really black people who are annoyed. It's cult members. It's angry people who don't have anything going on with their lives, who probably are eating mayonnaise sandwiches all day.
What the fuck?
Losing their health care benefits because they quit their job, because they got fired for like whatever reason. These are idiots that don't have anything going on in their lives, and then all of a sudden, you know what gives them a little bit of feeling of power? This is something I see with people like Michael the Boss all the time. They want you to think like them without giving you a good reason to. They want to shame you into thinking like them. So they create a tribe. And then if you ever say something, if you ever just talk to other people who are part of a different tribe, they immediately come after you. That's what it is.
Well, it's interesting you would say that because that's the same thing. That's the same thing the libs say about MAGA, is that they're a cult and in a tribe like that.
Yeah, well, MAGA can be kind of a tribe, but conservatives as a whole are not. A lot of liberals are. Here's the thing, Tim. I don't think that here's the thing. If you actually wanted to ever hang out in person, dude, I would totally hang out with you. I don't think I would ever change your mind about being liberal. I think that you're somebody who believes in strong governments. You believe in a large safety nets for people, and you believe that the government should have a large role.
But you should understand that, Jeremy. When you look at the history of this country, you should understand what this is where the black in me does come out. The history of America, when it comes to small government and states' rights, has been horrendously oppressive to people that look like me. So the only way an African American or a minority should favor small government and states' rights the only way it's going to make sense is to completely ignore history. There is a long precedence of how states' rights has treated African Americans and people of color in this country, that you just have to ignore history to make it make any sense at all.
Oh, hold on, Tim. You didn't let me finish.
Sure.
So what I was trying to say is I would still hang out with you because I think that you're a cool person, and I think that you're just a reasonable person that we just disagree with. So people like Michael DeBoss or Gangsta Grandma or Sherbert, they don't want to argue on merits. They want you to feel like you're a race traitor for daring to speak to people that you don't agree with. And it's a stupid idea, because if they really truly believe something horrible, I think his name was Daryl Davis, guy who used to like play jazz music and wanted to talk to Klan members and has gotten many of them to hang up their robes and to leave the Klan just by being nice to them and just by talking to them and asking them why they believe what they believe.
I don't mind talking to a few races here and there, but due to the violence of the Klan, that's like trying to be friends with the Taliban or some shit like that. These people are known for killing folks. So I would have to draw the line at the Klan. I might be to work with a few.
I know, but the point still remains. The point still remains that he's proven that treating people with dignity and respect and just asking genuine questions about why people believe what they believe is much more powerful than just saying, don't you dare. Yeah. Don't you dare talk to this person. I would be so mad at you. Like, who gives a fuck? Who cares if Gangsta Grandma says that you're fluffing again? Who cares? Honestly, she's just a loser who doesn't have anything going on with her life either. So is Michael DeBoss. All these people are losers. They're losers, okay? And if you want to talk to them, I'll still talk to you, and I don't think that you're an idiot for talking to them. But at some point, you got to ask yourself, do I really want to talk to people who say that if I listen to the wrong person, I'm so stupid, I'll immediately just believe.
Well, that's happening on both sides. That's happening on both sides, though, Jeremy. Because right now you got Ambassador Bolton talking about the Trump administration, and all in the comments on any of his videos. Why the hell is anybody listening to him? He's a seller. Same thing with Marjorie Taylor Greene. The right is the same way. If anything anti-Trump or anti-Republican or goes against any of the values they don't like comes from any of these people, they just view them as, just like you're talking about, somebody that you can't even listen to. They're doing the same thing.
Yeah, I know. But that doesn't mean that it makes it any better when we do it or when they do it. That's a whataboutism.
That is true.
That's a whataboutism, and it doesn't mean anything to me. To me, like, this would be like me saying, like, well, that guy raped that woman, and then they say, like, yeah, well, I may have done that, but this other person did this too. Like, what are you gonna say about them? It's like, that doesn't make what you did better.
No,
asshole.
I totally agree with that. I say that all the time when we're having conversations about Trump, and well, what about Biden? I'm like, bringing up Biden is not a defense for Trump. Well, what about Biden sniffing hair? That don't defend Trump. That's just, okay, you want to say Biden may have done something too, but that ain't a defense for Trump. I agree with you. Yeah,
I know. Like the only time I think it's okay to do that is if you're trying to point out hypocrisy. Like, if you're trying to point out that somebody if someone is adamantly defending Biden and is like saying like he's got no skeletons in his closet, but Trump has all these, then sure, you can bring that up, because that would be them being a hypocrite. Well, but it's not the same. But for me, I don't care. This is why I'm not MAGA anymore. This is why I'm not a Trump supporter anymore. Okay, it's because I realized that they weren't being critical. I would have been happy if when I got Trump elected, he did exactly what he said he was going to do, and I would have been perfectly fine with that. But I am never going to make a human being, a flawed creature like you and me, a god in my eyes. They are not. They are not. Is
that God. What you see? Because you voted for Trump. Obviously, you lean right. You don't lean left. You voted for Trump. Is that what you're seeing? That people are making Trump like God?
Yeah, they're making him out. Some people are making him out to be a god. Now, some of it is just them being a little bit tongue in cheek, like when they wear that shirt that says "Daddy's home" in front of the White House. That's just them being tongue in cheek. But there are some people out there who genuinely cannot see the forest through the trees. He is a flawed human being like you and me. There is no human on this earth that deserves worship. I don't deserve worship. I'm not perfect. I fucked up before in my life, but I don't lie to people and pretend that I'm invincible. And that's the problem. But here's the thing. People like Michael DeBoss and Gangsta Grandma, they're just as bad, but they don't want you to talk to people like me, because maybe I'll make a point that convinces you of something.
Mm. Well, I do got to move it on because I got a huge guest list. But look, you're never going to be shunned from this show. It doesn't matter what your opinion is, whether we agree, whether we disagree, whether you think I'm a genius or a piece of shit. We always let people speak. So feel free to come back through, Jeremy.
Before I go,
huh?
Do you mind if I say one last thing before I go?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay. At the end of the day, when it comes down to this, I don't think we can say that the removal of Maduro is going to have the same effect in Venezuela as the Middle East has had. We have built up governments back up after deposing their dictators before, and it has worked in the past. Germany and Italy and Japan during World War II.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why those worked is because, unlike the Middle East, we didn't have Sunnis and Shias as like in Iraq that were fighting each other constantly, that Saddam Hussein was suppressing with the Republican Guard. We didn't have.
I don't think the goal. I don't disagree with that, but I don't think the goal is to build Venezuela back up. I really don't. Because if we cared about the Venezuelans, we wouldn't have been trying to deport them back to Venezuela under Maduro. I don't think we really care about the Venezuelan people. I just think right now we got rid of Maduro, so they're like, well, shit, we'll celebrate that, but they don't know who's going to be over them yet. I mean, the next guy may not be any better, so they don't know that. But right now he's gone, so let them have their moment. But look, from what we've seen from President Trump, I don't see anything to show that he actually was doing what he could on behalf of the Venezuelans. I mean, I haven't seen anything out of him like that.
Yeah, maybe, but it's always good talking to you, Tim. And like I said, man, no matter how much we disagree, I don't regret having these conversations at all.
Appreciate it, Jeremy. Same. Thank you. All right, moving on with the program. Tap the screen. Got a lot of lazy thumbs in here. Get your boy on up to 40,000. This is uncensored programming, as it always is. If you're currently watching us live on Instagram or TikTok, feel free to give your boy a follow. If you're watching us on YouTube right now, sub to the program. We're here most weekdays. The American Union, North and South America, will form a union, much like the EU, governed by oversight like the UN is. I don't think MAGA would agree with that. Just like making Puerto Rico a state, I don't think MAGA would want to have a union with the South. All of the people we deporting back, all of the folks going back to the garbage countries and all of that shit, the shithole countries. I don't think MAGA would agree with that, Kyle. We'll see, but I don't see that happening. Thank you, Big Dog. Appreciate the TikTok cap. Continuing on, we'll make it happen with Z-Pack. Good evening, Z-Pack. Welcome to the program. But the Governor Whitmer, hang on a second, Z-Pack. But Governor Whitmer, I guess that's of Michigan, raised the gas taxes here. So no matter the price, she raised the hell out of taxes on it so we can go to fix the roads when she said this 8 years ago and nothing happened. Wow. So you're not reaping any of the benefits of the really low gas prices right now, huh? How much is gas in Michigan? It can't be. I mean, gas is down pretty low. Z-Pack, good evening.
What up? Wow. Listening to that last guest made me physically ill.
Really?
These typical people with no substance to their conversation. They have no I would love, I would get together and we could have a drink sometime. Shut the hell up. You know what I mean? Like, I don't need to deal with that shit.
That's a nice gesture. Why would you?
Yeah, whatever. Okay, so a ninth grade U.S. history teacher in 2106 is going to be teaching your grandchild or great-grandchild. 80 years ago, the President of the United States ordered the invasion of Venezuela because people wouldn't stop talking about his former best friend was a convicted pedophile that he ordered murdered in prison in order to cover his tracks. That'll be in your history textbooks. And he usurped that to get oil to make his friends rich in the meantime. The best part about this is that these MAGA Trumplican people, right, they are defending these stupid oil executives like ExxonMobil. And, we just did this to do it. Bitch, you didn't do anything. You didn't do shit. You support giving these wealthy oil executives more money, and Donald Trump is going to make them happy. Lindsey Graham tried to cover for Donald Trump and was like, oh, yeah, we're going to do it. And Donald Trump proceeded, as he always does,
step in it.
to say, yeah, it's about oil.
Yeah.
It's about oil. I mean, you talk about a moron. And these people sit here and support this guy like he's the man for you. To the last guest, Donald Trump isn't going to be your father, okay? He doesn't care about you. And that's it, period. Holy shit. I mean, this is stupid.
Okay, do you give him credit, though, for liberating the Venezuelan people, if at least temporary? The people of Venezuela are elated at what has happened.
Sure, they're happy. But do you remember when we people are trying to compare this to Iraq? This is like after we toppled Saddam, what happened in Iraq. It's not the first part of Iraq. Right now, we're at the point where Saddam Hussein has been toppled, and the people of the country are now, we're going to be nation building there for decades, right?
Yeah.
That is exactly, and I'll answer your question, Venezuela. Look, it's not whether or not Maduro was a good or a bad person.
Okay.
It was about the fact that the way that we went about doing it was totally insane. And you know,
so wait. So how should we have done it? People are going to say, if you don't like the way Trump did it, how should it have been done?
So then, if you're going to do this, you get rid of the government, right? Because the government is still there.
Yeah.
They didn't do. All they did was kidnap the dude and took him to one of the prisons in Brooklyn. Like, if you think that this is going to change anything, or that this was done for anything other than to distract from the Epstein files and the fact that Donald Trump is all over them. Remember that audio that leaked of Donald Trump yelling and dropping F-bombs that everybody thought was AI, and he said, tell Marjorie Taylor Greene, start an effing war, I don't care. That may have actually been real. Because this is exactly what he's doing. So either the AI was brilliant as hell and predicted it, or this is actually a real conversation. So listen, I don't really care what MAGA thinks, because MAGA is silly and they don't have critical thinking. They just don't. Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. His own FBI director is gone.
Well, in regards to the Epstein files, look, it just judging it fairly, and I'm talking not only to you but to my beloved MAGA listening in as well. It is hard to look at the way President Trump has been handling this since he became president. You know, tweeting out, stop talking about Epstein, and just the sheer amount of resistance. It's hard to look at all of that and say, he's totally innocent of any of this. I mean, his actions have been anything but transparent. We give Trump credit. A lot of folks give Trump credit for being the most transparent president we've ever had. He's on TV every day. He talks to the media. You know, he talks to the media more than Obama or any president we've ever had. But when it comes to Epstein, he's not being transparent at all.
Right. This is a guy that supposedly says he kicked him out of his estate, and then talks about everything every day and has these wonderful, brilliant, that he thinks are brilliant, press conferences, but you're right, he doesn't mention a word of transparency. Bill Clinton's public, I don't remember the exact title, comms director released a statement saying, we have nothing to hide, please release everything. Donald Trump has yet to do that. Okay?
Well,
so
no, Trump did say he told Pam Bondi to release everything. I mean, he's made these, but it's pretty clear what he's telling you out in the open is not what's happening behind the scenes, because I think we all know that you could get every file they have with zero redactions if one guy said, let it be known. If Trump said, release the files, zero redactions, you would have those files being released tomorrow. He is the sole resistant of that stuff. So
think about this, Tim. the argument that I always hear is, well, if Joe Biden had the files and Donald Trump was innocent, why didn't he release them? If Donald Trump is innocent and he is president and he is being accused of being a pedo, wouldn't it be a good idea to release the files to clear your own damn name? Or is he too embarrassed that his name is all over them, as Elon Musk said, and Dan Bongino, he was like a ghost. That guy was so scared he left because he saw what was all over there. Look, Tim, this is easy to put together. It is a distraction, and everything that happens from the moment those files were supposed to be released to now to the future will be a distraction. It is all a distraction so that he doesn't have to face accountability for the fact he may not be a pedo, right? But he is so embarrassed to be in the files, he's not even going to release them, right? I feel like there's two things here. He's either a narcissist, and we already know he's a narcissist, but he's either a larger narcissist than ever, or he's all through the files doing really bad shit, Tim. That's what it is. There's two options. And the third one ain't that he's innocent or not all over them.
What about the notion that he has wealthy friends that may have associated with Epstein that didn't do anything wrong, but if you release the files, the information in there can be released in such a way that it'll make some of his friends end up being viewed at, it could hurt them. Because that's what he's been claiming is I got friends that would be hurt.
Apparently said to Marjorie Taylor Greene,
right.
It's going to hurt my friends. MAGA, you own this. It's going to hurt my friends. But I don't care. We care about the children so much that we created all these conspiracy theories about how children were being trafficked during COVID, right?
Yeah.
And that all this stuff was happening. And now your king isn't doing anything about it?
Well, and that is one of the things. Like you mentioned, the common question is, why didn't the Biden administration release it? Well, obviously, some folks are going to say it was an investigation going on and it was still sealed, whatever reason. But at the end of the day, the MAGA...
Bill Barr punted it.
Huh?
Bill Barr punted it. He didn't want to deal with it. And Bill Barr's father hired Jeffrey Epstein as a math teacher when he wasn't qualified to be a math teacher. And Bill Barr himself then was in a position where he was either protecting Jeffrey Epstein or covering for Donald Trump. You could put these pieces together, Tim. It is much more likely that Donald Trump called a hit on Jeffrey Epstein.
Wait, say that again? What?
It is much more likely that if we're going to do conspiracies, and this is for TikTok purposes only, right? If we're going to do conspiracies, it is much more likely, as Jeffrey Epstein's brother thought, that Donald Trump called for a hit on Jeffrey Epstein.
You don't think Trump would have somebody?
More sense. Why wouldn't he be transparent about this, Tim? Why did he unalive during his former presidency? Why is he not releasing the files?
I don't have an answer for the why is he not releasing the files? I do not have an answer for that, and that does not look good.
Because it's a distraction, and Venezuela is a distraction. Venezuela and everything from this day to the next day and any other day will be a distraction. And like I said at the beginning of this call, in 80 years, your great-grandchild will be in school, and the history books will say that the former president of the United States, like I said, started a war in Venezuela to usurp oil, to distract from the fact that his friend was in these files, and that he organized a hit.
So you're talking kind of a wag the dog. Skills for Thrills says, how do I get the opportunity to make a call and add my input? We're currently live on Instagram and TikTok. So if you go to Instagram, The Handsome Liberal, or you go to The Handsome Liberal on TikTok, we'll bring. You can actually come in. You just request, and we'll bring you up. That's where the calls are coming from. Unfortunately, YouTube doesn't allow me to take calls. If otherwise, I would take them there because I got more MAGA on YouTube. So order to hit though, Z-Pack. Whoa.
This isn't my words. This is the words of Epstein's brother. Epstein's brother, in one of the files that was released, said that he felt that Donald Trump organized the hit on his brother. This is not just me. And listen, it could be completely bonkers, but his brother said it. And the fact that Donald Trump is just sitting here like, well, I have the files. I could ask that they all be released. I could be the most transparent administration ever, like I said I was going to be. And Marjorie Taylor Greene is now against me because I went against her word. Right? Yeah. I just think that, like, this is so easy to put together, Tim, that I cannot believe people in the comments are simping for these oil executives and not continuing to pressure the administration to release the freaking Epstein file.
Well, I believe the as you call it, simping for the oil tycoons or whatever. I believe the thought process is that if we acquire a large portion of Venezuela's resources, it'll drop the price of gas for them. So they got their minds fixated on $1.50 a gallon. That's what they're looking at it like.
That's great if you can afford everything else. Everything that Donald Trump said he was going to lower the price of, he hasn't. So I could drive around in my car and just stare at the road and the trees that have snow in them, and I could say, "Hey, this is really fun. I'm enjoying this," but I have no money to pay for childcare for my daughter. Well, I do because I get paid, on this app. I get paid to be here, which is great. But the thing is, I believe that, this, for the average American, this doesn't actually do anything, but,
so if they're not really receiving any fruits of Trump's labor, why do you think they believe? Because I got people that tell me every day that Trump is the best president America has ever had. If they're not getting anything out of it, why do you think they feel that way?
So think about this, Tim. Another thing, how can you be happy about the price of gas dropping when you can't even buy a car in the United States because the price is out of control and the tariffs are making the prices higher? And in the next 2.5 years, a car that used to cost $20,000 will cost $35,000 here in the United States because of his tariffs. They've already calculated the mathematics that this is what it will be. You're looking at $15,000 more. So we're going to afford great gas for a car we can't drive. Make that make sense.
I think it makes sense because the people that are telling folks that cars are going to be unaffordable and things are going to skyrocket in price because of the tariffs, they're telling people the opposite of what Trump is saying. Where Trump is saying the tariffs are going to bring home a ton of money to Americans, and Trump supporters believe that money is going to trickle down to them. So they don't believe the people that are saying the tariffs are going to hurt like that. They believe Trump.
Yeah, of course they do, because they believe everything he says. They don't believe any of the calculations that say otherwise, and they think that billionaires are going to suddenly go against historical precedent where they've never given back to their employees when they get tax breaks, right? They never do this. They think that, oh yeah, all of a sudden it's going to change. Are you stupid?
Are
you dumb?
That's how trickle down economics work, man. People always believe that trickle down economics. If you look out for the wealthy,
yeah. And the thing that Donald Trump does, I see the comments, and I'll run along because I know you got other people. But like the 1776 check, right?
Yeah.
So the 1776 check took money from housing for veterans.
Yeah.
So Donald Trump made this big speech that, I'm making a dividend for you guys. We're going to give you great money. Yeah, he robbed Peter to pay, Paul. Like this is a smoke and mirrors administration, and they do not have any. They said long ago they love the poorly educated, and that is exactly who is in your chat right now applauding this. They're like, "Oh my God, I love it."
Don't do that to my chat. I got a whole bunch of highly educated, astute MAGA in the audience. MAGA, don't do that to my MAGA.
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure they're the smartest of the smart. Yep.
All right, we'll leave it at that, Z-Pack. You drive a hard bargain, Z-Pack. I appreciate you coming through. Good to hear from you again.
And this is why I get paid to be here, because I get to do this. It's a fantastic thing. And I think you're disgusting to be talking about me so terribly. I do. Well.
We love you, Mr. Trump. We love you.
Please tell my wife to come home. She's been missing since New Year's Eve. I don't know where she is. Fantastic.
All right, I'll leave it at that, Z-Pack. Thanks for coming through. All right, moving on with the program. Tap the screen. Get us up to 60,000. We'll take the next caller. Real quick in the comments. I want to make sure I did not miss anything here. I don't know why the screen isn't scrolling, but I was with him until the impersonation, says Mr. Walter. The Pentagon can't account for 44 trillion since the beginning of the Iraq War. Damn. You know, we always say that if you really want to talk about waste, fraud, and abuse, you would go for defense spending. I don't know, Doge and all of going at the federal workers and USAID and shit like that. You go for the Pentagon. You really want to actually address waste, fraud, and abuse and make a real dent in it, a real change. That's where you would go. That ain't where Trump went. Tap the screen, get us up to 60,000. Was Trump involved in the Iraq War? No, he wasn't. In fact, Trump, in effort to attack Jeb Bush when he was running against Jeb Bush in 2015, brought up what his brother George W. did. He called the Iraq War the dumbest mistake in U.S. history. So no, Trump was obviously not a fan of the Iraq War. But Trump also campaigned on ending all of the useless regime change and nation building. He really spoke out against regime change and nation building. And that's what he is currently involved in, regime change and nation building. And this is where my last call was talking about the hypocrisy, because Trump has ran against a lot of stuff that once he got in office, he started doing the same stuff. And MAGA was supporting Trump for running against that stuff. And when he started doing it, they're supporting him for doing it. I don't get it. Like what's going on in Venezuela, for instance. We spent $1 billion to get Maduro out of power. Doge lied. They did not save money. Roughly $8 billion. Donald Trump spent that for ICE in less than a month. Yeah, Trump knocked the budget for ICE up from $8 billion to $28 billion. So ICE made a killing. ICE has a really nice budget because of President Trump. The missing DOD money isn't missing. It's black ops money. And that might as well be missing. Classification words. Yeah, I mean, if you're going to say the money ain't missing, it's black ops money. I mean, that's like a black hole. That could mean any damn thing. That could just be a way to help get you off the trail of missing money. Just label it as black ops. You don't have to answer any questions once you say that. That ain't saying shit. All right, let me go back to the box. Black ops money. Wow. We'll go ahead and continue on. This battling this flu bug does not make life easy for me at all here. Dencal, good evening. When does the dollar ever trickle down to us? I haven't seen it, Jim, but there's a lot of Americans that do believe if you enrich the rich, they will indeed somehow sprinkle it on the lower. I tell you one thing, like if you give the wealthy a tax cut, that'll inspire them to create jobs or expand their businesses. This is the mindset. Didn't count. What do you think? Do you subscribe to trickle down economics?
No, it's. I mean, we've literally tried it like 4 times in probably in our lifetimes. We tried it with Reagan. We did it with Bush, Bush 1 and 2, And we did it with Trump 1 and now 2. Like, we keep saying that if we just make sure they have enough more money, that they will create something. But that's not how demand. You can't just, if I get more money and I'm already filthy rich, it doesn't make me say, let me go out and hire people. I need to have a demand for my services before I hire more people. Just the same way, just think about it. If that process worked, why do we need to do it again if it worked the last time when Trump was in office, when he gave them that big ass break?
That's a great point. I would also add how you brought up, we've tried it several times with all of the Republican presidents in our lifetime. I would add that if you really look at what happened during that time, the rich got richer and the poor got poorer. So clearly they just been keeping the money. They ain't been, I mean, that's exactly what's been happening since the Reagan era is the salary divide or the income wealth gap has gotten greater and greater and greater. So clearly they're not sharing that wealth. And it's not like, after 8 years of Bush or even 4 years of Trump or 4 years of HW, we could say, well, under their presidency, you could see the wealth of the lower class was increasing. It wasn't.
Right. And, all of these people thinking what he did was so great in Venezuela, which we all know he don't give a shit about the Venezuelan people. He had already blocked them from coming to our country and was trying to ship calling damn near every Venezuelan a Tren de Aragua. He don't give a shit about them. Now he's talking about the oil, but anybody who knows anything about the oil industry knows that their whole oil producing economy is decrepit. It's shut down. It's going to take literally billions of dollars to reinvent their whole their drilling system. And guess who's going to subsidize that? It's going to be us, the American people. Well, and that's going to take years. That's going to take years to do. It's not like they can just go start pumping the oil and
that needs to be explained. I've heard that from several news sources today as well, and I think that's where the dead zone is. I think that most folks who favor us taking control of their resources do not realize what you're saying. The time it's going to take for it to actually be worth something, and all of the money we got to spend first to make it get that way. I think people do believe it's almost like driving up to the pump, sticking it in your car, and you got viable chemicals coming out. I think people don't realize what you just said.
They don't. A lot of them don't care to know. They don't care to know, or they don't care to understand that we're close to like historic lows as far as oil production. I mean, as far as per barrel is concerned. What they don't understand is the more that you flood the market with oil, the harder it's going to be for oil companies to compete because they get to what they consider a break-even point. We down in the $50s a barrel now? You can only put so much oil. It's not just going to keep on coming down because it costs them about $35 to produce a barrel of oil. So if the price of the oil comes down any cheaper, it's not going to be lucrative. They're not going to be able to make money.
Wow. Yeah, see, this is part of it that I'm not totally knowledgeable in all of this, so I can only speak on it so far.
It's very simple, Tim. Just think of it like this: if you create a product and you sell your product, and it costs you $10 to make your product, and everybody else around you, they're making theirs at about 10, maybe some people at 12, some people are at 8 or whatever, but we all making the same product. And then it gets to the point where so much of your product out on the market that it lowers the price because the demand is not there anymore.
Yeah.
Then you just say, then the price gets down to your $10. Now you're not making no profit anymore. You're not gonna pump more oil when you ain't making no profit. Yeah. That's why the oil went so low when we was during the C-19 was because nobody was using the oil, so they couldn't sell it. They was actually having to give the oil away free at that time because nobody was making a profit. That's the same thing that's going to happen now. And I've looked into it, and anybody, they can look at what OPEC said. about their production and everything because OPEC, they control oil prices. If OPEC says we're going to raise production, they could take oil down to $40 a gallon, and American oil companies would be
$40. You mean $40 a barrel?
Yeah, $40 a barrel. Yeah, they would shit on a bunch of American companies because that's around their breaking point where they can make a barrel of gas, of oil. So I know it can get convoluted, but just the basic understanding of supply and demand will let you know. And I've read the articles, Gas Buddy, all of these people. This shit is not going to lower America's gas prices by much, if anything at all.
Well, you got to understand, though, right now, a lot of folks are celebrating the fact that gas is fairly cheap in America as is. I mean, they're giving Trump credit for this. This is happening under his watch. We can come up with a variety of reasons of why it's happening, like what you're pointing out. But Trump is president right now and under his watch. Like, for instance, you're talking about if gas prices start to drop to the point where it's almost the same as the cost of production. Well, that likely would happen after Trump's out of office. But he would be in office to the point where you're seeing it getting closer and closer, which means that under Trump's watch, gas would continue to drop and drop and drop in price, which is something that Americans would favor.
And that is understandable. But when you look at the big picture, you don't want something to be like that only because of one president.
Yeah.
You want it to be stable American policy that enables gas to stay at a certain. You don't want the moment Trump leaves, all of these countries that hate us now because of Trump, he done strong-armed them, now say, okay, now we gonna get your ass back. You don't want that. You want it to fall under a certain policy. No, you want to have a what they call continuity of government. You don't want every president to come in and everything just changes so drastically because of his personal relationship with these foreign
Well,
leaders.
if Trump has a great relationship and it's only because of him that gas prices are going down and it may change after he leaves, then Trump 2028, maybe we could just keep him.
Hey, if that's what you if everything in your life is about having low gas prices, then I guess I would go and vote for him again. But this country, the way he has pitted its people against each other, is just not very good for this country.
Yeah.
One part of the country believing they're winning because of the shit he's doing. When they ain't got no more in their bank accounts, they not any more successful than they was before. The same people that always used to say, we just want government to get out our lives and let us live our lives, are now saying we want the president to be involved in every single aspect of our lives.
They believe he's just that good, then, Cal. They believe he's just that good.
And you just had somebody talk about the cult personality of these people who don't care what he's done. They don't care that we can look at the evidence that he's been involved with some of these children in the Epstein files. They do not care.
I don't disagree with that. To me, I think the evidence is overwhelming that MAGA doesn't really, MAGA's not really concerned about whether or not Trump's in the Epstein. That is meaningless to them. And I've said this before, and I think you may have even agreed. I may have even said this to you before, but to me, the Epstein files is a 90-10 issue. Whereas MAGA likely favors Trump's policies, directions for America, whatever you want to call it. And the argument would be that 90% of what Trump is doing is awesome for the American people. And look, 10%, the Epstein stuff, maybe 10% of some of the stuff he's doing we don't like, but 90% of what this guy is doing is right for this country.
10% like child.
Yeah.
We don't care.
Even if the 10%, listen, Thomas Jefferson, the guy that's on the $2 bill, slept with a 14-year-old and impregnated her like 6 times. He's one of the American heroes. So you can be a pedo and a hero. You can actually do that. So, I mean,
that's the scary part. That's the scary part about us being raised in a country that told us to always look at history and to never forget about these bad things that happen so we don't repeat them. But now I understand how the regular German citizen back in the 1930s and 40s sat there and watched the atrocities that happened to the people around them. I understand why the people say, well, I didn't own no slaves back in the slavery days. But all of them people sat there and watched the shit. They was going after church on Sunday with their kids to watch what was going on, fruit of the poisonous tree. I get it now. These people do not give a fuck about nobody but themselves.
Well, I mean, that's capitalism. I mean, that's kind of how capitalists work. But this might be extreme capitalism, but
but they always want to exclude themselves and say stuff like, why they calling us cult members? Why they always calling us racist? Why they always saying that I haven't done nothing? It explains everything.
Wow. And I see the comments, JJ Crossface says, this guy's a bigger idiot than the last guy. You think my caller or even I am an idiot? State it in the comments. I like to give me your reason why. You're calling him an idiot, but you're not elaborating on that.
And then the other guy, the other, who was that up here talking about something? They talking about something. Yeah, sometimes when we did do regime change, it worked out. Talking about Germany.
Has that ever happened? Have we ever?
Yeah, I mean, it sort of happened, but it happened under the international community. That's when all countries came together. That's when they created NATO and the UN to prevent that kind of stuff from ever happening. And it happened under U.S. leadership. We're the ones who created all of these safety nets to prevent world wars and to interject into international affairs. We created the International Criminal Court. Now they're saying, well, the court's trying to be in our business. We created the motherfucker. Would they say? Look, would they say anything if somebody went into damn Israel and plugged Bibi out of Israel because he's a criminal, right? He's a criminal by the International Criminal Court. Yeah. Would they be like, well, yeah, they did that for the Israeli people? No, they want to pick and choose who they think should fall under the rules of the International Criminal Court because, frankly, Trump should be under indictment by the criminal courts right now. But they so
wait. Why should you make a great point about Netanyahu? But why are you suggesting that Trump should be under indictment
for those boats he's blowing up?
Yeah,
a lot of countries, including Europe, have already said like we're not participating because we believe that's a violation of International Criminal Court. But they're not gonna do nothing because why? We run the damn court.
Yeah, the United Kingdom did say that. They did say that they were going to stop providing surveillance because they believe what we were doing was a violation of international law. So, and that could happen. That actually could happen. You know something? I say this all the time because people believe the Democrats want to, they want to pin something on Trump eventually. If Trump leaves office and is replaced by a Democrat but gives himself a full pardon, there is a possibility still that the Democrats could hand him over to international court.
I don't know. It's a lot of space between then and now.
Yeah, it would drive the country insane too.
Yeah, I think the more he does, the more empowered he feels. And, I think there's going to be a breaking line between him and those people that he got right now in Congress. They sucking up a lot. But him going in there doing regime change without consulting with Congress at all, that's like a crime in itself because the Constitution distinctively says those powers belong with Congress.
Okay, but why do you think Congress is? Because, I mean, out of Trump's, he's been in office for almost a year, another week or two. Why are they're not, have they done anything other than maybe the Lincoln Riley Act or something? And the Big Beautiful Bill, of course. Have they done anything at all this past year?
No, when he got Thune and he got Mike Johnson, he got the perfect people that will not even bring these things to the table for his own members to vote on. It's not as if they voted on it and, you know what I'm saying, went along with him. They not even bringing up the stuff because they already know. And I just hope that when we get our shit together, we have them Nuremberg-style trials, and they bring those people in there, and they say, you as a congressperson, you as the leader of the Senate, the leader of the House, why did you abdicate your authority and allow this person to run roughshod over all of these people? Hey, what you said was wrong, though, man. There were people who got killed in Venezuela.
Oh, really? What, like 30 of them?
It was like, I done seen between 40 and 80 people.
Oh,
but either way it go, they like all of his guard, like around him, like, you know, the Delta, when they just went in there, they had, you know, authorization.
Oh, so they did go in there and smoke some people.
Yeah.
Okay.
They took those people down. It wasn't like the people just said, oh shit. You know,
I was wondering, because I was wondering, like, damn, how do you he's on a compound. How do you go on a compound? Even with our overwhelming force, it's amazing. Not one single American went down on that. Like, I don't look.
You got to remember, they even said about 2 weeks ago that the CIA had already been infiltrated it. So by the time they do something, I'm talking about it was already people on the ground that probably took out, his regular guard and all of that stuff. So people misunderstand the strength of our military, which I've told you plenty of times. Like, nobody can even wave a stick at us, and we get it. But our policy has always been peace through strength, just people knowing that we strong. Trump wants to use going out there using these forces to kill people, some of them who have no, you know what I'm saying? Like,
it's pretty clear Trump will use the military and violence as a first option. I mean, because even when it comes to American cities, he will use force it's not a last option, it's a first option for him. I mean, it doesn't, it don't matter with him.
What did he say when they said that, hey, Putin, he murders his people and stuff, and what did he say?
So do we.
But now when it comes to Maduro, what he's doing, we got to get rid of him. But I tell you what, this power is going to corrupt absolutely, and I think the more he gets a taste of being able to sit there with Pete Hegseth and push buttons and eliminate people, is going to get the best of him, and he's going to go way too far.
I got to move it on, but Trump 2028 might be in the works, man.
Hey, the last thing before I go is, you seen what they were doing to the senator, right?
What do you mean?
The senator that was in the commercial saying don't follow illegal orders. Mark.
Yeah, they're taking his retirement pay or something like that.
Well, they can't take it, but they're going to reduce his rank so he gets less of a check. Now, keep in mind, once another set of people come in,
they're going to pay him that back money.
They're going to pay him all back, but just the pettiness, they can't do nothing to him, so they're going to try to fuck with his money.
And that's exactly what's going to happen, is that he'll see that reduction in rank and in retirement pay under Trump's administration, and whoever the next administration is, even a Republican may get in there and give him all his title and his money back. From a guy with bone spurs who refused to serve this country and said his Vietnam was escaping the STD. Damn. Well, he's serving the country now. Didn't count. Thanks for coming through. Appreciate it. All right. Tap the screen, folks. Get the likes on up to 85. We can make that happen. Real quick in the comments, there will not be a Trump 2027. What does that mean? 2028 is what he's looking at. Imagine actually being an American. Because that says carnage of crust. Trump is going directly to jail, says that ain't happening. I don't think Trump will ever do a day behind bars. Trump is going to retire an old, wealthy man that has lived a long life. Now, that's not to say people around him may not pay, a heavy price for dealings and associations with Trump, but Trump is not gonna. He's not gonna do a day behind bars. God, we need to pray this don't happen. Maduro was no different than Noriega capturing. And real quick, I want to say this before we continue on with the next caller. People were pointing out that there was a warrant for Maduro's arrest. So that's somehow, some way being used as a justification to, to support what President Trump did. And as my last caller was pointing out, there's Netanyahu has the same outcome facing him. And the folks who are supporting the removal of Maduro would not support the removal of Netanyahu. There's international warrants for him too. So, as my last caller rightfully pointed out, people are picking and choosing when it's okay to utilize the law and when it's not. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, looking in the comments, we cannot have China or Russia in our backyard, says Stephanie Carlisle. We're in their backyards. I mean, I hate to sound almost anti-American when I say that, but, what's good for the goose is good for the gander, right? We're all in Russia's backyard. We're all in China's backyard. I think somebody brought up the Monroe Doctrine, where the United States agreed to be responsible for the entire Western Hemisphere. Basically everything from Canada all the way on down to the tip of Brazil or something like that, or Chile. It's crazy, but that is literally world's police. You sound better today, Tim, says, I think this is Barrel Flex. A little bit. I'm still definitely not 100%. I'm probably 70 because I'm physical at work. I have a job where there's, some physical stuff to it. And I was dragging. I mean, I've had a lot of days off because of being sick, ER, obviously the holidays and things like that. But no, I'm not 100% still. Definitely not. But yeah, if I sound okay, that helps out a little bit. If it's Trump 2028, it's because they cheated on the midterms since tomorrow. Well, the midterms are going to be interesting. And I do believe there's going to be some voting irregularities in the 2026 midterms coming up in this November. Actually, we stopped being the world's police because the United Nations wasn't paying for. Yeah, we're still being the world police. I don't agree with that one. If what we did with Netanyahu is a good example of us still being the world police. I mean, we're helping Israel fight every country they got an issue with. And not holding them accountable for going overboard at all. We are still playing the world police. America owes Trump running up the budget. Huh? Don't get that one. The world is catching on to the USA and the gig is up. That's frightening. Got the Buzz TV. Before we continue on, tap the screen, get us on up to 90. I guess everyone thinks drugs from everyone are okay. To me, the drug thing was a ruse. I'm fine with trying to make an effort to prevent harmful drugs from entering America, but that wasn't the goal. That was never the goal. Now that Maduro is captured, let's see how many drug boats continue to get bombed. Let's see anyone make a claim that there's a shortage of fentanyl in America now. Let's hear the Trump administration continue talking about what they're doing to stifle drugs from coming in this country. If that continues, you got a legitimate point. If all of a sudden, now that Maduro's in custody, all claims of stopping fentanyl from entering America disappear, that's your sign that it never was about that. If you don't hear him saying anything else about that anymore, you don't hear any boats being blown up, nobody's getting arrested, it's pretty clear that would be a clear sign to you that it never was about that. That was just a way to ease on into the region and do what we wanted to do. Just use that as a stepping stone to get in. Real quick, looking in the comments here, you think crackheads are missing their fix? No, I don't think, because first of all, Venezuela is not known as a drug capital of anything. I mention this all the time. We've been watching drug flicks going all the way back to, you know, Scarface and, you know, it's all these different drug films you watch. You've never heard Venezuela being mentioned. You've heard Peru, Colombia, Nicaragua, Bogota, you know, Mexico. You've never heard Venezuela being known as a place that's shipping a bunch of shit into America. That's something that started under Trump. Never heard that before him. Let me go ahead and continue on. Rick, statistically, it can't be about fent because virtually none of it comes from Venezuela. Same with Coke. That's what I'm hearing from many. That's what I'm hearing from many folks is that it just doesn't come from Venezuela like that. But let's see if the Trump administration continues talking about how many shipments they're stopping. Gangsta Grandma, good evening.
Oh, you bald-headed. Are you so sick still, Pookie? I can't go hard on you today.
Thank you. So
I'll be semi-nice.
thank you. I appreciate it.
I'll be semi-nice.
I appreciate you saying that. So how about being nice to Trump? He has liberated Venezuela.
Hell no. That motherfucker Snow Roach could unalive himself, and I'll be drinking me some champagne.
That is the meanest thing I've heard you say. Okay. The people of Venezuela are celebrating even in America.
Let me tell you something. They don't understand the United States, okay? They think, oh, the big bad Trump came in and took him and everything else. He don't give a damn about nobody. He don't give a damn about us. He don't give a damn about them. All he wants is the oil. This never was about the D. Because you know how funny it is? When they pardon the other drug D, you know who? They pardon him. This one's going for the exact same thing.
Well, regardless of what it may be about, fact is the Venezuelan people feel free today because of Trump.
They're not going to be free because now Trump is literally saying he wants to take over. All he wants is the oil. He's going to screw them like they did in Iraq, Somalia, Haiti. You want me to have a big list? He destroyed other countries. United States, the government, destroyed other countries.
Well,
they don't give a damn, Tim. It's not about the D. It's about the oil. And guess what? Venezuela is part of OPEC. Do you really think all the other countries are going to let the United States take this oil? Hell no. Good luck on that.
They let him take Maduro.
Tim, get off your fucking knees.
This ain't got nothing.
Get off your damn knees.
What the man did for the Venezuelan people was got them out of
He didn't do it for them, Tim. He did not do it for them.
It doesn't matter. They benefited. I'll give you an example. One of my viewers says Venezuelan people are happy. Why ain't you?
Because they're dumb. They don't know what's coming next. And let me tell you something. The people in the United States are happy. The Venezuelans are happy here because they're dumb fucks. They probably voted for him. But the other ones, there's not a lot of them over there are happy. The real videos that's coming up, and they're not happy because they are scared of what's going to happen next. They know it's not going to be all cheesy and roses and bubbles and whatever, and butterflies. He's coming to take everything from them and leave them worse off what they have been.
You're saying Trump is coming to take everything from the Venezuelan people?
That he wants to.
What are you basing that on?
China, Cuba, and Russia already told them. This is going to start some...
You sure you just don't hate Trump so much that you're going to find fault in him for anything?
You know, Trump, oh my God, Tim, this isn't about, oh my God, Tim, you are, go back, go over there and suck up to the white man.
This ain't got nothing to do with the damn, what the hell? This ain't got nothing to do with the white man.
You know what? You know what the fuck is going to happen. You know this shit's going to go down ugly.
Okay, it hasn't went ugly. People feel free today because of Trump. Can he have this moment?
Been a couple of damn days. While he wasn't even supposed to go in there. He wasn't. He wasn't supposed to go boom boom them. He's supposed to have Congress. What the hell are you talking about? All the shit he's doing.
Can the Venezuelan people have this moment of joy without you trying to wreck it?
Okay, go have a moment of joy. Go kumbaya and do kumbaya while he's taking the damn oil.
Okay, there is no solid evidence yet. Because of the length of time, as me and Denkow were talking about, that it takes to get the oil up and running anyway. There's no that'll be.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, he came out of his own mouth. He's going to let the companies come in and take the oil out of his own damn mouth. This wasn't about the D. This wasn't about, oh, let's catch him and put him under the jail because he lied to a lot of people. It's all about the oil.
At the end of the day, if they are liberated and this guy is brought to justice, they would be happy to give up some oil to get freedom.
No, they won't be. No, they won't be. And why should they give up the oil?
If you're...
We're not supposed to be going up in there and doing that shit. See, you are Uncle Tom, motherfucker, you.
Oh, my God. Listen, I think that you have... I don't want to say TDS, but you hate Trump so much that you just don't want to...
He just screwed us. Do you comprehend? Do you know that other nations are looking at us? They can start shit with us. Iran, all of them, do not like us even more. Russia. What the hell are you talking about?
As an American,
stop threatening us, Tim.
As an American, do you give a damn if Russia or Iran doesn't like us?
It's not that, you dumb fuck.
That's what you said. That's what you said.
They got sleeper cells in the United States. And they go boom boom us. And roll your fucking eyes, you stupid fuck. That's all you're good for. You're on your knees for the white man, drippy, drippy, drippy.
This ain't got nothing to do with the
white. Oh my God, yeah, he is a white man. Oh my God, he went in there and took this guy out, and they're all happy. No, they're not gonna be happy when all hell breaks fucking loose, and they're gonna be in there invading them, taking all their damn resources, leaving them dry as hell.
And I see...
And they say, go do it all your own damn self. Another Haiti, another Iraq.
I see Dark Side Rider says, Gangsta Grandma, she comes out hard. She is so true. I think Gangsta Grandma just is really angry with Trump today.
It's not about being angry with Trump. What he's doing is against the law. He went against Congress. He went against our Constitution. He went against international damn law.
So then that's...
And you don't think these motherfuckers... Let me tell you something. You are so goddamn up a white man's ass that you're sucking on his cock and you're gagging on and shit. That you don't think the retaliation is not going to come. Okay. Russia don't like us now, and they're threatening us. China, let me tell you something. You don't think because they're over there do what? You don't think that they won't do no fuck shit to us?
I'm going to ask you this, and I guess you'll take it wherever you want to take it. You'll take this wherever you want to take it, but why the hell should the average American care if Russia or Iran or China likes us? They're not our allies.
It's not about liking us. It's about going after our soldiers and stuff, you numb nut.
And I see the cover.
Let me tell you something. This ain't over. This is not over, Tim. We had no other backing. They did it on their own. They had no NATO, no nothing. They did it on their own. And you don't think the retaliation's not coming? Think stupid.
Well,
get off your fucking knees. Get some goddamn brains in your fucking head. Your mama dropped your ass a whole hell of a lot. And that's why he said he likes the uneducated. Because if you don't think the retaliation's not coming,
do you think any of these nations would dare retaliate against us if we got Trump behind it? With Trump in power, they know that if they retaliate, Trump will spank that ass. They're not gonna mess with us while Trump is our president.
We're not big and bad like you think we are. Okay? You gotta get fucking humbled. You know, real quick, get humbled. Real quick. Because there's other people out there bigger and badder. And if they all tend to fuck up, oh, we're in trouble. Just because you think we big and bad. You know what? Everybody gets their ass whooped eventually.
I'm being told that the world respects and fears us under Trump.
We don't. We're the laughing stock of the fucking world, Tim. We are the laughing fucking stock. We have a fucking guy that thinks that sharks does shit and batteries. We have, talking about snakes and shit. I mean, come on, Tim.
You say
you thought Joe Biden was bad? Joe Biden didn't have us at war.
Do you think Joe Biden? Do you
Biden
think
tried to what?
Would Joe Biden have liberated the Venezuelans?
It's not our place.
Would Kamala Harris have liberated the Venezuelans?
It's not our place. Why can't other people do it? Why do we have to be the po-po?
So if no one thinks it's their place, then the Venezuelans would still be in oppression. But
they have to fight for their damn selves. We don't have to be the damn po-po of the whole United Nations and take fucking people out. Because guess what? This motherfucker could walk on this shit.
Get a man credit, at least for a few days.
You know what, Tim? I don't suck on white cock. Okay? I don't have nothing white in my fucking mouth like that. I'll never have cock gonorrhea and syphilis in my fucking mouth. Okay? I don't bow down to the fucking knee of the white man because I'm not a house ninja unlike you. I don't like the whips and chains unless it fucking feels good and all my shit. Okay? I don't do all that. But I know what reality is. And this whole hell is fixing this shit. It's going to hit the fucking fan. And if you don't think that, well... Would it
have made you feel better if Trump was a black man liberating the Venezuelans?
Oh my fucking god! A black
man. You seem to have an issue
like that.
You seem to have an issue with race.
Let me tell you something. Obama wouldn't have done this without approval. Or Biden wouldn't have done this without going through Congress and stuff. This man thinks he's above everybody. He wants to be a dictator. That's what he wants to be. He's breaking every damn everything. He's doing everything against everything that we believe in.
A dictator.
We have the laughing stock of everything. We're the laughing stock. We're the joke.
You understand? You're referring to him as wanting to be a dictator right after he just freed a nation of people from oppression.
He did. Oh my fucking goddamn god! Are you that dumb? Are you that fucking goddamn dumb? Do you realize? And then the woman got put in, right? He threatened her. If you don't do right, if you do not do right, it's going to be worse than what he's getting.
Well,
what does that tell you, Dan? What does that tell you?
It tells you he wants the Venezuelan people to be free.
No. He wants her to kiss his ass and let him in and take everything from these people and leave them out high and dry.
So let me ask you, do you believe that you yourself, Gangsta Grandma, know what's better for the Venezuelan people than the Venezuelans themselves that are in the streets celebrating?
Right now, hell yeah. Because they don't know our government. They don't even know what the hell's going on here. You know how fucking crazy it is? The same motherfuckers you think are freeing them are sending them right back to the pure hell. And not giving them no justice over here, not giving them due rights, nothing. Treating them like crap. They're not even sending them to another country. They're sending them to somewhere they don't even belong. That's that we're telling them, you're fucking around, you'll find it out. He don't want nothing to do with you. This ain't about these people. He don't give a damn about these people. So quit fluffing, get the cock out your mouth, quit drinking his uncooked protein. It's not helping you. You're still sick, aren't you? He gave it to you. You're still sick, aren't you?
That was funny. All right, I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to leave it at that.
You sucked on so bad, he gave you the white man flu. You see, my dad actually didn't get no white man flu. I was sucking on chocolate.
All right.
Damn day.
Gangsta Grandma.
Yep. And I don't. No, let me tell you something else. Some real shit.
Real quick, go ahead.
Hell. Let me tell you something, Tim. All hell is going to break fucking loose. This is the end of it. This is just the beginning. When Congress gets in, I hope that they do something and stop him. Because he's going to put us in another war. Another damn war. And it ain't going to be the Venezuelans. It's going to be Russia.
You really think Russia, with their dilapidated military after the Ukraine, they can't even defeat the Ukraine with our help?
I wouldn't put it past them if they do some fuck shit. I wouldn't put it past them. I wouldn't put it past Iran doing some F shit. I wouldn't put it past that China gonna do some fuck shit to us. We are hated, Tim. And what they did, I'm happy that they feel happy that the asshole is gone. But this isn't the right way to do it.
But we're not hated. The Israelis
We
love.
are hated.
Hold on. The Israelis love Trump more than any other U.S. president in history.
Oh my goddamn God! The Israelis love him. Oh my God! Another dictator. You really want to suck a Israeli dick now? No, are you really?
I gotta move it on. I gotta move it on. I gotta move it on.
His people over there, like Israel, said that they want to take the First Amendment from us. They want to censor us. Go look it up, Tim. They want to censor our First Amendment. Told them to censor us because they don't want the information coming out how bad they are. Go look the shit up. See, if you're going to have a platform, do it right, Tim.
I got to take the cock out of my mouth first. Gangsta grandma?
Yeah, you better.
Thanks for coming.
You're sick?
Yeah. Oh my God, she don't make it easy either. I enjoy free speech. She makes me pay the price for having an uncensored platform, but that's how we do it here, folks. We don't black ban or censor anyone. We go left of Bernie Sanders to I'm having dinner with Q. Sometimes the calls get rough. Do you really think is something you all should ask yourselves every day if you believe being so closed-minded will lead to a solution? I'm just seeing that comment there, Abway Warren or something like that, a new Warren or something. The first question I'd want to know is being closed-minded in regards to what? Because I do believe there is plenty of closed-mindedness in terms of attitude from both sides of the aisle. Both sides are closed-minded on many different issues. Replace Trump with the Justice League, then tell me if it's bad. That's one I'd have to really sit back and think of. Replace Trump with Justice League, and then tell me if it's bad. Huh. You know something? I'll just say this real quick in regards to President Trump, and I see you laughing at that, the white man flu. She got me with that. You still sick. I'm not sick from what she was indicating, though. It was funny as hell, but I'm not sick from that. But I was about to respond to something that you said until I saw that. I forgot what I was about to respond to. I'm going to start sneezing around people in public just to see their reactions. Don't do that. That is not a good thing to do. I work in a hospital setting. I'm in and out of hospitals and clinics, so I try my best to do all my gagging and coughing before I run in there real quick. No side is immune from error. I agree with that. I actually do agree with that. Trump doesn't want to free anybody. Why not North Korea? It's worse for them. Just watch as Venezuela gets pillaged by us contractors like Iraq. I do believe there's some validity to that. I do believe that will end up happening. The North Koreans are brainwashed. The North Koreans, in my opinion, the North Koreans are so brainwashed that if we showed up to liberate them, they would fight the liberators. I mean, the stuff they do, like break out in tears and shit at statues of Kim Jong-un. I mean, they are like really, really a brainwashed population. I don't know if you could liberate them. I mean, it's just like after World War II, they had to, I think it was called denazify the people. The mindset was so locked in to what they were doing. They had to get it out of them. That's why they, literally made it illegal to even talk about that stuff. It was ingrained in them. So I believe it's even worse in terms of North Korea. Looking in the comments, yes, ask the citizens of Venezuela. We can't save the world, but based on what Venezuela used to be prior to this dictator, it was possible. I applaud Trump. I think that might be somewhat of what could be, is that folks may look at it like they're coming to take our oil or whatever, but that's better than what we had with the oil. We had the oil and Maduro. We'd rather have less oil and America helping us out. Straight talk. Good evening.
Oh my God, Tim.
Yes, sir.
Listen to me. I want you to do me a favor. The next time you go to the voting booth and you go to pull that lever I want you to remember the conversation that you just had with that woman. And you're about to vote the same way she votes.
Oh, shit.
That would be
What do you want me
that was
to
the greatest MAGA commercial I have ever heard. We should have been paying that woman to go off like that.
Yeah, but the problem is, straight talk, if I think about what she said and then I acknowledge I'm trying to vote the same way as her and I lean to the other side, I'm going to think about all the shit that Charlie Kirk said. And now I'm about to vote the
Charlie
same
Kirk
way.
was your best friend. I don't know. Look, you have this built in your mind. I'm going to let you have it. I'm going to let you have it.
Give me what you got. Give me what you got.
Into whatever you want. Here's your problem. You don't like history, either ancient history or recent history. What you guys on the left forget is that you had a president 2 years ago that doubled the bounty on Maduro and would have snatched him himself if he could have done it. That you don't even mention it. You just forget that conveniently.
Well, first of all, he could have done it. He could have done the same thing Trump did. But Biden,
yes.
but
he couldn't. No. He could not have done that.
Why not?
He couldn't have done that.
Why not?
Because he didn't have the will. He didn't have the will to do it.
I don't wait, hold on. I don't think it has anything to do with the will. I think in
militarily, no, they have a different outlook, dude.
I don't think
you have to have the will to do something.
I don't believe it's about will, straight talk. I believe it's the fact that Trump is not.
Why did he do it then? He had the military. Why did he do it?
Because in Biden's case, he is going to go through the proper channels to get authorization. Trump is just going to say, fuck it, I'm going to do it.
He had perfect authorization. The World Court ruled against Venezuela. Let me explain something to you.
Sure.
Our companies, our American oil companies, went to Venezuela a very long time ago and set up that infrastructure, drilled the wells. They had no capability whatsoever to reach the oil that they own. It's Venezuelan people's. That country owns that oil.
Okay.
And American companies went in and said, hey, we'll help you extract that oil, sign these contracts. They signed the contracts. Then Maduro comes in 2013 and says, fuck y'all's contracts. I'm taking this oil for myself. Kicked out the oil companies, American oil companies that were making a nice profit, and the people were enjoying the proceeds of the oil that was in their ground. So, over time, since 2013, all of that equipment has run itself into the ground. It's producing at around 18% of when we were there. Our oil companies were there. We had the contract. We have the contract. So what do? We take them to court. The World Court says, yes, absolutely. So Trump says, enough of this shit. I'm going to give you 4 options of getting your ass out of that country. The 5th option is I'm sending Delta Force to get you. He gave him 25 days, 4 options and 25 days. He gave him an extra 4 days so he could watch the weather. We didn't lose not one soldier.
That was a hell of a feat. They
lost 30 Cuban security personnel. Why Cuban? Because he couldn't trust the Venezuelan people to guard him. You guys need to study history, recent history.
Can I ask you a question? Okay, why you're citing history? Why is he now threatening Colombia and Cuba?
Because Cuba, because they're the ones that were colonizing Venezuela. They were providing the muscle so Maduro could do all this. I just told you.
Okay, that ain't happening now. But that's not happening now. So why is he threatening Cuba?
Because, what do you mean, why is he threatening Cuba? Cuba's about ready to collapse. Cuba, if they retaliate, Cuba needs to be put in their place.
Wait.
51st state.
Cuba, hold on.
Cuba instead of Canada.
Cuba hasn't threatened to retaliate. Cuba hasn't threatened us. He's threatening them. Why is he doing that?
No. 100% they have. They were talking all kinds of smack on the 3rd. And Trump made it very clear. Hey, we're not putting up with it. By the way, the person he installed as the vice president, the former vice president, he said, all right, you can continue, but here's what needs to happen. She talked that big shit the next day, but she ain't doing that now.
That
He's made
doesn't.
it very clear we're not putting up with it.
That doesn't make sense. Why would you suggest that this is an illegitimate regime in the form of Maduro?
Makes perfect sense.
But get rid of him, and then if he's illegitimate, so is his VP.
Makes perfect sense.
Explain.
Because you work with what's already in place. You make them, you bring them, hey, listen, or here's your option. You can either send in Marco Rubio, J.D. Vance, you can send in half of the cabinet into Venezuela.
That's what he claimed.
Run that country yourself.
That's what he said. He said, we're running it. So if you're running it,
we're running it from the U.S.
If you're running it, why are you leaving half of an illegitimate regime still in place?
Yeah, because you don't want civil war. You don't want the country to implode. Do you not pay attention to what happened to Iraq?
So what you're basically saying is that we don't want civil war. So we're going to leave in half the regime, and only we'll be the ones making the threats because we're still threatening the vice president.
Yeah. By the way, we're talking less than 4 days later. You don't know what's going to happen on day 20, on day 35, on day 60. I guarantee you all of those people responsible for this are going to be brought on trial. I guarantee it.
Okay.
And by the way, remember when we were talking about Chinese military equipment?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know why none of our ships were shot? None of our planes were shot? None of our helicopters were shot? You have any clue why that is?
What are you getting at? Superior technology?
They had Chinese military equipment.
Oh.
Their surface-to-air missiles
I heard
Chinese.
that. I heard that.
That shit don't work, okay? It don't work. We're afraid of China, my friend. Listen. I'm not going to call you out of your name, okay? I would never do that.
You're not going to be gangster. Before you go into detail, here's my take on how I would have looked at it. If you know that they got all this shit parked on the shores of your country and they're threatening to come, I would just aim everything we got at those ships out there and just wait. If the minute they start attacking, fire everything you got because you know that's where they're coming from.
Now, wait a minute. Hold up. You don't even like the fact that we attacked Venezuela and you already... Damn! This is your problem. You don't stand for anything.
Really?
You don't stand for a goddamn thing.
Wait. What are you basing this on?
You can go the way the wind blows. I finally figured it out. You don't stand for anything.
I'm going to tell you why I don't stand for the shit that you're preaching. Simply put,
no, you don't stand for anything.
Let me explain. Let me give you a little bit of it, and maybe your knees will tighten up because I'm about to stand right now. I'll tell you one thing: the idea that Maduro was an oppressive regime. Not only did Trump know that, Biden knew it too, and the Trump's first term knew it. So everybody knew that Maduro was oppressing his people. So under Biden, a lot of folks were becoming refugees and fleeing Venezuela. Many of them came here. President Trump became president, and he was fighting and actually succeeding at deporting all of them folks right back into the fucking oppressive regime. And when Maduro stopped taking his own people back, he started sending them to CICA in El Salvador. My point I'm making is, and I'm standing full tilt here, is that Trump don't give a fuck about those people. I mean, his actions show he don't give a fuck about the Venezuelan people. What he has done...
What do you mean his... No.
I'm explaining it. I'm explaining it.
Not one drop of that oil and not $1 from that oil was going to the Venezuelan people.
That ain't got nothing to do with what I just said. What I'm simply saying is
he cares enough about the Venezuelan people. And by the way,
how the hell can he care about them if he's deporting them back to him?
Even if he didn't, he's the American president. That's fine with me.
Okay,
but he does care about.
If you know this guy is triple-digit inflation, people are starving, and you're going to deport them from the wealthiest country on earth back to that, and if you can't give them that, you're going to give them CICA. How does that equate to giving any damn about them at all? Tell me what you stand on. Tell me what you stand on.
This is what I'm trying to explain to you. You got a neighbor, and that neighbor whoops his wife's ass every night, and you can hear it. Okay? You go over and you remove him from the equation. Okay? Doesn't mean you take her and her 6 kids into your house. You may throw her a couple bucks, but you've done enough. You already got rid of
that. That's not a good example, because in this case, Trump tried to take the person and put him back to the. You're talking a domestic violence case. In this example, Trump would have been the guy that tried to send the woman and the kids back to the husband.
Yeah, you don't have to take the kids and the wife and the kids into your place. You don't have to take them into your home, into your family.
Right. So
you
if
can send them back home because you took care of the guy that was causing the trouble.
No, he did not take care of the guy. When he became president.
What do you mean? He's sitting in New York in prison right now.
I'm trying to respond to you. Trump, for the first 12, he just got rid of Maduro this fucking weekend. All of those deportations before that, he was just saying, fuck those people. Sending them right back to Maduro.
He was saying, hey, y'all go back home. I'm about to go up in Maduro's ass real quick. He did. Dude, he didn't say he was going to do it. He did it.
Some of those people might be dead already. I mean, you sent them back to a...
tragic.
You sent them back out of...
That is horrible. Listen, I've flown food missions in northern Iraq for Kurdish people, okay? I feel for any refugees. I absolutely do. I've served this country overseas. I have lived in communist and socialist countries on behalf of my country. And I see saw firsthand how terrible this planet can be to people. I lay my head down on the pillow every single night, knowing that you guys will say 1 minute we're not the world's police, and then you'll complain and whine when we didn't take in every Venezuelan that wanted to come to America, or we sent someone home.
That ain't just
argument.
That ain't just you guys. That Trump also ran on. We got to stop nation building and getting involved in regime change.
Yes,
so both sides say it.
Let him stop. Let him stop. Hey, dude, I'm telling you right now, you cannot run a country and just be isolationist. You don't see us going into North Korea. You said it yourself. We don't go into North Korea. North Korea doesn't go messing with people. They just do their thing to their own.
Yeah, they do mess with other people.
Go in there and remove
North Korea does mess with other people. Japan in particular, and South Korea. They do mess with other people.
Yeah, and if Japan and South Korea, by the way, we're in South Korea. I have stood.
We're in Japan too. We're in Japan
right
too.
They're preventing a lot of that stuff.
We
do stuff for that.
Well, I'm just simply saying the idea that North Korea does South Korea all the time.
What I'm saying is they don't have really the capability to fuck with too many people. Do they fire a missile off and it look tough every once in a while? Yes. Are they supported in doing that by China? Yes, they are.
Where you lose me at in your whole rant about I don't stand for anything, you lose me in trying to make it sound somehow, some way like Trump cares about the Venezuelan people. His actions say exactly the opposite of that.
They are about to be the wealthiest nation in that entire hemisphere. There are more gold deposits, more lithium deposits. There is more oil than any place else on the planet in Venezuela.
That don't mean that don't mean shit if the powers that be don't share it with you. I mean,
guess what? And Maduro was not. But you don't like that. You care so much about the Venezuelan people, Tim, that you want Maduro back. You wanted us not to do what we did. Yes, you do. You don't stand for nothing. Maybe she's right. Maybe that grandma, maybe that last woman was right.
I don't know. It's that I don't stand for the crazy bullshit you trying to feed me. That's what it is. You trying to give me some.
I'm not trying to feed you anything. You saw it with your own eyes.
You trying to give me some of that. You trying to give me some of that uncooked protein that she often talks about. That's what it is.
No, you ain't getting anywhere near that. Look here. You had a president that you voted for. You voted for Biden. Did you not? Did you not vote for Biden?
Yes.
Okay, you voted for Biden, and what did Biden do? He doubled the bounty on Maduro. He agreed with Trump.
Wait, nobody is arguing that Maduro.
Because you make it seem like your man didn't even agree that we should be doing stuff.
No, nobody is arguing.
That bounty was for?
Nobody is arguing that Maduro needed to go. The argument you and I are having is that you're trying to suggest that Trump cares about the Venezuelan people. I don't buy that one bit.
Hold on. What did you do to get rid of Maduro? What did you do? Because my president, the one that belongs on all four spaces on Mount Rushmore, that man is the one that went in and like shit through a goose, got rid of Maduro. You'll never see him free man again, ever. He did what needed to be done instead of all this glad handing. Oh, I care about you so much. Oh, bullshit.
Yeah, and your guy did it.
When you put your money and your treasure and your people on the line for another people, that's when you show love to that people.
Yeah, and your guy did it in a manner that is probably going to have a hell of a lot of his associates trying to avoid staying out of prison at all costs, blowing up boats and double tapping and all kinds of shit like that.
And by the way,
that ain't gonna stand.
I heard you say this. I heard you say this earlier, and really, I gotta question your. No, I'm not. Let me explain something to you.
You already told me I don't stand on shit. Don't censor yourself now, goddammit.
I don't think you do. You'll have to prove that to me.
I think I already have, but go ahead.
This. If we don't see any narco boats being blown up coming out of Venezuela, why do you think that is? Maybe it's because there's no goddamn narco boats coming out of Venezuela. They got the message, Tim. Maybe that's why.
$1 trillion business. And because you kill a few of the workers, that's
$1 trillion business that they are going to relocate and will go where they go.
You're going to complain that
it won't be Venezuela.
You're going to complain that I don't stand on something. You're going to say some dumb shit like that. $1 trillion business. Okay, you took out 100 workers for $1 trillion business. They send motherfuckers back in coal mines, even when hundreds of them die. If money is to be made, people going to continue doing that. They're not going to, because he blew up 11 boats, they're going to stop.
If you have the ability to make that money, you're going to make the money. But if you don't have that ability anymore, and you don't have the person in charge of that logistics anymore, you're going to move that shop somewhere else.
We're
going to corner, listen to me, we are going to corner those narco terrorists. We're going to corner them. Or if we don't, they are going to continue to kill Americans. They're going to get after your kids, your grandkids. They're going to get after your daughters. You're going to get after your sons. They're not going to stop until everybody around them is hooked on that bullshit. And you standing with your hands in your pocket, saying don't do anything or it's not worth doing, you're going to be responsible for that.
To me,
we have to do something.
To me, you are the equivalent of somebody standing at a bus stop waiting on a cab. Venezuela is not where the shit's coming from. If you're going to stop fentanyl from coming in America by hovering around Venezuela, hold on, hang on. If you're going, wait a minute. If your goal is to stop fentanyl from coming into America by hovering around Venezuela, all of the countries above them is more likely for where you ain't gonna stop shit doing that.
Hey, hold on. Then what were all those boats about? Why are you crying about?
We don't know. I don't want to sound like a retard, but we don't know what those boats was about. They didn't prove shit. Stand doing that.
Yes, they did. There's all kind. Go out there to. Have you gone out to where those boats?
They didn't prove what type of drugs were on them. They didn't prove how much. They didn't prove.
How would you like it proven to you? You can watch it on YouTube. You can watch. What did they do out there, Tim? Those boats, just random fishing boats? Is that what you think?
It could have been barrels of marijuana on them. You don't know.
Well, no, I'm asking you a simple question. What do you think were on those, or did we not shoot those boats?
Those boats could have been carrying any sort of illegal narcotic or contraband. You don't know. I'm not saying the boats are innocent.
How would you like that proven to you? What would prove to you what those boats were out there doing?
Well, if you know,
because I've heard y'all say this.
Yeah, I can easily answer that.
Yeah.
If you can put in the work to go into Venezuela and capture Maduro alive, damn it, you could do that to the boat in open sea. You don't have to kill every boat. Catch a few of them so you can show us, even if you kill some of them.
So let me get this straight. You would like me to tell my son, my daughter, you go on that boat and you slap cuffs on those guys with all them drugs, and they're going to shoot at you, but I want you to capture them. I don't want you to use that Apache helicopter that will blow that thing to smithereens with no question. I would like for you to enter that boat, son. Fuck Christmas, fuck New Year's, fuck grandkids. I want you to go on that boat. I want you to ask them nicely to hand over those drugs. That's what I want you to do.
What? Were you in the military?
I was.
Why are you
8.5 years.
If you've been, I haven't been in the military. Why are you saying dumb shit like this? You know damn well they could fly a Black Hawk above that boat, hit it with a 50 cal in the engine and the outboard motors a couple times, and stop it in open sea. Ain't nobody on that boat firing back. Y'all asses are you guys are stranded. You're not about to shoot.
Bless you that you think that we're about to go and take a 50 cal and take out 4 outboard. I mean, I don't know what you think those.
You don't have to.
They were very high powered.
You don't have to
answer your question.
You don't have to. Wait, hold on. Before you answer it, fact that you don't have to hit shit. If 50 caliber rounds are striking in the water in front of that boat, that's enough to make it. Some of them.
You don't want the Hellfire missiles. You don't want the Hellfire missiles. You want a 50 cal. You want us to use a 50 cal. So all we are dickering over is the method. That's your problem.
The difference in those two. The difference in those two.
Missile.
The difference in the cost of 50 caliber rounds to those smart weapons they're using.
This just costs too much money for you. Is that what it is? We wasted money. Is that what we did?
How about this? I'm gonna be quiet for a minute and give you a chance to make some sense. Go ahead.
I think what I'm hearing from you is we spent too much money. Okay, we spent too much money. Instead of using 1 or 2 Hellfire missiles, you wanted us to expend 100 and 200 rounds of 50 cal ammunition. That's your problem. It's not the deaths.
I want you to bring them in alive.
Drugs.
I want you to bring them in alive. I don't think everybody needs to be murdered. I want you to bring it. You brought Maduro in, and he had a whole army surrounding him, and you found a way to get him.
When you have a president that's in the White House and he's running this, I want to see you do that. Show me how that's done. But for my president, I want him from 35 miles out to shoot a Hellfire missile right up the ass end of that boat. I want him to blow every motherfucker.
He got to call
it drugs. I want him to shoot that missile straight up the ass of that boat. I want those drugs blown to smithereens and the people on that boat with him. Period. That's what I want. You get what you want when your president wins. Me personally, that's what I want. That's what I voted for.
All right. You won. You got your guy numbers. I got to move it on Straight Talk. We obviously disagree as always.
We didn't even talk about what I wanted to talk to you about.
We have to do it on the next go round.
You guys talk about Trump. I would like to know what you think about Tampon Tim exiting the race. Why do you think he got out of the race for governor? Do you think that there's more corruption that they haven't uncovered yet? You have a sitting senator that is about to take a demotion all the way to state governor.
I'll talk about it. I'll talk about it on the other side briefly. Straight Talk.
Mm-hmm. Hey, good to talk to you. And hey, listen. Don't listen to them. Okay? I do want you to remember her when you pull that lever. I want you to remember that you are voting the same way that woman that preceded me is voting. And if you're okay with that, it's a free country. You can do whatever you want. I got
all of these Charlie Kirk quotes that is going to be on my mind too, though. I got to go.
Yeah, take them out of context, okay? Put them in context.
You taking Gangsta Grandma out of context. I got to go. All right, moving on with the program. Tap the screen. He's obsessed with shoving stuff up asses. Damn. In regards to, real quick before we move on, and tap the screen, get us on up to 135,000. This is Uncensored Broadcasting, as you may know. We're here most weekdays. So if you enjoy civilized dialogue from all sides of the aisle without censorship, congratulations, you're in the right place. If you're watching us live on TikTok or Instagram right now, do your boy solid and follow the program. If you're currently watching live on YouTube, give me a sub. It'll help out the program. Tim Walz choosing not to run again. I actually still think that Tim Walz, because I'm close to Minnesota, I know a lot of people. I think he probably still could have pulled it off, but there could be, as my last caller stated, more fraud because people are really focusing on this Somali fraud. not necessarily because fraud is pissing them off, but because I think a lot of folks do not like Somalis because it's happening in Maine. I believe there's another Somali population in Seattle, and they're just targeting these folks. Not to suggest that if you're committing fraud, you're kind of earning it, but I think that Tim Walz, for the sake of the Democrat Party, because he's the one getting all the heat from that. Once Tim Walz resigns, there's not a lot of other Democrats of high caliber to blame that fraud on. So as long as Tim Walz was around, they were going to continue blaming that fraud on him and the Democrat Party. So he may be just literally taking one for the team. That's the way I see it. I see Tim Walz as taking one for the team. But we'll see what happens. And by the way, I keep bringing this up. A lot of my MAGA viewers refer to this as deflection. So be it. But it's really hard to find myself thinking that MAGA is focused on fraud and ripping off the taxpayers, and they want to stop that from happening when President Trump is pardoning big-time white-collar fraudsters like once a week, and they're not saying anything about it. So we can talk about the Somali fraud. They should be held accountable. They should face justice, for whatever they're doing. But with Trump pardoning fraudsters on the back end, this clearly is not a party that is concerned with fraud. That's why I brought up that it's more to do with the Somalis than it is to do with fraud. Trump is pardoning some people that defrauded folks out of big fucking money. And not only does he let them out of prison, he also forgives the restitution they were ordered to pay. So there are victims that were hoping to be made whole by the people that have been incarcerated. Trump lets the guy out of jail and tells him you don't have to pay back the victims either. MAGA's not saying nothing about that. So it's hard to believe that we really focus on fraud with that kind of stuff happening. That's my take on it. Looking in the comments, MAGA will always find a minority to go after. Yeesh, doodle mom. Let me go back to the box. We'll go to Mike. Good evening, Mike. Welcome to the program. You got called out a couple of times, Mike. Good evening.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck about him. He's not very smart. Jesus Christ. First of all, Tim, hopefully you're feeling better, bro. Tap the screen share alive. Let's get Tim up to 150,000. I know most of y'all don't want me up here, so get him up to 165,000. I get mine up. So listen, Tim. First of all, it's clear that the gentleman straight commerce, whatever, he's gone. He's gone, and he served in the military. So think about that guy protecting.
Now you're for folks who don't. You're talking about my last caller. You say he's gone. What do you mean by when you say he's gone?
He's so far gone in the cold, he can't see straight. Right? He has an answer for everything. Now it's funny though.
Now I will say this before you continue on. Me and Straight Talk obviously don't agree on much. We talked before. He is the only viewer I've ever had, including all of my MAGA viewers. He's the only one I've ever heard say he has never heard President Trump tell a single lie.
I know, and that's why I'm telling you, he's so fucking far gone. He believes that shit. He literally believes that shit. He might unalive himself if Trump unalives.
Damn.
That's how far gone he is.
Damn.
That's how far gone that guy is. And I'm gonna tell you why. I told you this about 3 days ago, 4 days ago. For anyone, first of all, Trump did break international law. That's a fact. Whether anything can be done about it, that's another story. But he did break international law. There are other warrants out there for other people, like Netanyahu. We're not worried about that. This has nothing to do with humanitarian at all. If people think that he's doing this for the Venezuelan people, you're full of shit. This is literally about oil and resources. This is what this country and white America's been and white people have been doing since the beginning of time. But I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to go that far. But not tonight. But that's a fact, though. They're going to suck all the resources. Because first of all, we have to put boots on the ground. Period.
Okay.
We have to put boots on the ground. Where do you think those boots are going to be? You think they're going to be? You think they're going to be on the streets of Venezuela helping secure the Venezuelans from crime?
They're going to be around the refineries, is what you're saying.
They're going to be around the refineries and the military base. That's exactly where they're going to be. And whatever else happens, they don't care, because if they care, see, here's the thing, Tim. Why wouldn't you remove the entire regime? Now, I know they're going to say, well, then you won't have a regime. But if he was not the legitimate elected president, then that means that Edmundo Gonzalez, who's in exile in Spain right now, who won the election overwhelmingly, should be the rightful president. Yes?
That's the way it should be.
Well, again, now, they can't say it's only been 4 days because their words, they've been planning this for months. Not my words. They said they've been planning this for months. So if you know that he's exiled in Spain, you could have been trying to, if you were trying to correct the problem, you could have went and got this man out of exile. Because if he won overwhelmingly, that means the Venezuelan people voted for him. But they didn't do that. They removed one. There's 4 other people in his circle that have warrants as well. Didn't remove none of them.
Yeah.
And then
so why do you think Maduro only was targeted?
Because they want to control Venezuela. So they didn't like him because he, as a dictator, wanted to control the region himself. They're like, you don't want to share, we're going to take your ass up out of there. But we don't necessarily want the other party because they were Democrats. We don't want the ones that actually won the election in office. So we're going to remove you. We're going to threaten your VP to do what we say or else. That's what he did. Not my word. That's what Trump told her. She's going to comply or she's going to see worse than what happened.
But how do you respond? Now, popular, I guess, avionics in the comments is saying that Maduro was the only one indicted. So there was no actual warrant for anybody else but Maduro.
That's not, I know, but that person, if they just do a Google search and say, were there any other active warrants for anyone in his circle or orbit, it's going to say yes, and it's going to list you the names. So let's move on. All they got to do is look instead of talking. Now the vice president didn't have one, but she has been with him for quite a long time, right?
Okay.
So my point is this. They didn't want to remove the entire cabinet. If they were trying to do the right thing, you just install the people that you say won the presidency from the beginning. Because if he wasn't the duly elected president, then it was his opponent, yes?
Yeah.
I mean, what else could it be? But they don't want that. And Donald Trump, again, these aren't my words, these are theirs. And yeah, I said Google, because if you Google, you'll find the resources. Use your dump, whatever it was. But if you look at this stuff, it's so funny. This stuff is easy. They're not trying to do the right thing by the Venezuelan people because they don't talk about the 50 some odd civilians that were unalived in this operation.
Yeah, but I know that civilians died too. I know that.
Yes. Google it. Just Google it. Just Google it. Over 50. Yes.
But how about this? Even if, while I'm finding my cursor here, even if even if it is a possibility that Trump is not really doing it out of love for the Venezuelan people, what about the notion that even with that, he still is a better option than what we had in Maduro?
Who, Trump?
Yeah, America.
Says who? Shit. Well, I can't tell because we don't care about the people. How can you replace somebody that's from there with somebody that's not from there, but has demonized these people for the last 8 years?
That's what I was
saying. I know. That's what you were telling dumb and dumb fuck. But see, they don't want to listen. They don't want to listen. So he doesn't care about the people. Those have been his words, not our words. So we're supposed to trust that he's doing the right thing for them. Well, how many oil tankers did they move out of there last night in the cloak of darkness?
I have no clue.
Yeah, I think it was 8.
Jeez. So it's already started.
It's already started, Tim. They've been planning this for months. And here's
32. I see 32. Oh, 32. Cuba says 32 citizens killed in U.S. raid, but Cuba says 32 of its citizens killed in Maduro extraction. Were they citizens or were they armed militia?
Well, it didn't say armed militia. It said citizens, and it was more than that because they said it was 80 total. 30 were military, so the rest were civilians.
I just put were citizens killed in Venezuela, and that Cuban thing comes up a lot. At least 40 people were killed in U.S. attack. Venezuela official says. I mean, still considering the fact that who they took out, the leader of the country, this is pretty strategic. I mean, you were able to take the president of a country away, and in less than 100 people died. That's amazing.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
yeah. But again, Tim. Again, we had already conceded that they didn't have the military power to do anything with the U.S. We already knew that. So
well, they got but
again,
I mean, you got a compound. They gotta. I mean, they would have to repel or something down in your. I mean, once they're on the ground, it's it's small arms fire against small arms fire. I mean, for them to be able to get to your guy and nobody did any Americans even get hit? That's amazing. It to me, it really almost sounds like Maduro may have made some kind of agreement to just go with them. It's hard to imagine being able to do something like this with so few deaths when they knew we were coming. Like they're parked all on the outside of on the shores of your country. They're bombing boats already. They're not going to park all this shit in what is $1 billion they said it costs. They're not going to do all this if they're not going to follow through. So you got how long have we been there? A few weeks. You got time to bring up as many of your forces as possible. How does this happen with so few people getting killed?
Tim, do you see how much military force we use for this operation?
Yeah, but
we may have used more military force than they actually have put together. I'd have to look that up. But I guess I'm saying I'm not in. Listen, this is not about them doing right by the Venezuelan people. Am I protecting the dictator? No, but I do find it interesting. Was it your call not to that?
Go ahead.
I do find it interesting that we're cheering for this illegal operation. And listen, I'm hearing this supporter say, "Who cares about international laws?" Well, it's a law.
I mean, let's be clear, Mike. The Venezuelan people think this is a good thing. I mean, do you know what's best for them more than they do? They do appear to think this is a good thing.
Not all.
Most.
And I'm going to tell you why. But again, Tim, that's right. Because again, that makes sense because this is my point, the overwhelming majority voted for his opponent, correct? Correct?
Wait, you said, say that again?
During the election,
okay,
the overwhelming population voted for
the opponent of Maduro. Yes.
So they would be happy about it. They would be.
Well, it ain't just that they voted for the opponent. It's that Maduro got in there and made life miserable for them. But listen to this real quick before we continue. Rebel Nightwing says Trump setting himself up to be the greatest president of Venezuela, making Venezuela great for once.
Yeah, I know. But again, listen, Tim. These cult members are going to say what they're going to say. They don't give a fuck about. And you know what's so funny to me? For every person that's saying that about this operation, probably were the same people calling them pieces of shit. They were probably the same people demonizing Venezuelans, right? Yeah. That Venezuela opened up all of their prisons and let the worst of the worst. Now you give a fuck about them.
That's my argument. That is my argument, is that we're talking about how great it was what Trump did for the Venezuelan people and how much he cares about them. And you're right. Just a few months ago, he had no problem deporting them right back to that oppressive dictatorship. And when that guy wouldn't take them, he was sending them to CCOT instead. So that's what I was telling my last caller, and he didn't want to hear that. But I'm like, Trump's history of just the year he's been in office for a second term, his history doesn't come across as if he cares about these people at all.
At all. So listen, all of these people that rationalize this for Trump wouldn't rationalize this same behavior if it was their neighbor. You wouldn't see all these things that people were doing and then say, oh, but he's doing it for the right. Get the fuck out of here. But again, this shows you the level of hate and delusion that they will go to make sense of this. This is not about the people of Venezuela. This is about the oil. Now, he told you it was about Schmugs. Tell me the next time you're going to hear. Have you heard him mention Schmugs since then?
No. Well, according to my last caller, it's because they too scared now to bring it in, which I found to be laughable. Hang on a second. Me Too says MAGA are professional victims. They just whine about problems they create in their head. Meanwhile, the Sackler family is getting away with murder. Who's the Sackler family?
I don't know, Tim. I don't know what they're talking about. Here's what I know. I know that Donald Trump has demonized people from Latin America since he came down the escalator. That's what I know. I know that I've never heard him say anything that would tell me that he cares about anybody from that region of the country, black or brown, and indifferent. Let me ask you this: he's bombed 8 countries since he's been in office, right?
Yeah, I actually have a picture. Yes, it is 8 though. Because I remember the picture I posted. Yeah,
right. All black and brown continents, but then South Africans are being persecuted. So you let them come here because they're being persecuted over there. Well, if it was so bad, you see what I'm talking about, Tim? But if it was so bad in Venezuela, why would you take their, first of all, you gave them TPS and then you took it away, right?
Yeah.
But see, people don't pay attention. They don't realize that 90%, let me say 80% of the bullshit that he did when he was leaving during his first administration, he set up for this because it was supposed to be a continued 8 years, like I told you before.
Yeah.
They never wanted this break. That's why he pushed so hard when he, quote unquote, lost the election. That's why he pushed so hard, because this was supposed to be a continuation. They were setting this shit up from the beginning, from the very beginning.
Well, that's kind of how most administrations do, though. They're thinking about things from a long-term strategy. And JPT Farms, thank you for the TikTok cap, but that's kind of that's normal, though, isn't it?
Yes, but and so it tells you what levels of destruction and cruelty they were planning in his first term. Like I said from the beginning.
Well, I can't deny there's not a lot of empathy coming from the Trump camp. Like I said, if you can deport, if you know Maduro is treating those people in an oppressive manner and treating them like shit like that, and you're willing to deport them right back to him, yeah, you don't care nothing about them at all.
You don't. And so for anybody to say that he does, you guys are just, you guys are the ones delusional. And the funny thing is, those that support it, you don't care about them either. You don't care about the people of Venezuela. Stop it. And here's the thing. You don't care about the ones that are there or here, or the Somalians, or the Haitians, or the Mexicans, or the African Americans. Y'all don't give a fuck about none of them, because everything you do says otherwise. Everything you do says otherwise. Every executive order is to hurt another marginalized group. Everything. Every executive order from the beginning, it's always demonizing. And you use the mechanisms within the law and the Constitution to pull off these evil, despicable things, and then you want to justify it. This wasn't on your bingo card. You motherfuckers didn't vote for this. You did not vote for us to be engaged in any other conflicts. You voted against it. You guys voted against it. You actually said that you voted for him because he would stop these conflicts. You actually voted for him because you said you didn't want to be the police of the world. You didn't give a fuck what was going on in these countries. You guys said, let them figure their own shit out. That's what you said, and that's what you voted for. Now, you want to say that he's doing right by the very thing. You can't even justify your own position by what I just said, because you did not go in that booth going, yeah, and I hope when he gets time, he actually gets rid of Maduro to help the people in Venezuela. You didn't vote for that shit. Stop that shit. You see how ridiculous that shit sounded, Tim? You see how ridiculous it is?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I've been, we've been obviously having lives for a few years now, and yeah, I've talked to many MAGA that liked President Trump. In fact, that was one of the things that I used to give Trump credit for, is that he's promised to get us out of overseas conflicts and things like that and focus on America first. And yeah, he's doing the exact opposite. And the people who said they voted for him because he's about America first, he's not going to play the world's police anymore, and he's going to focus on America. The same folks that supported him for thinking like that are now, well, yay, you took out Maduro. You're right. You didn't vote for this. You voted for the exact opposite.
Yep. Oh, and by the way, just for the comment that said OD unalivements are down, they were trending down during Biden's administration. This man hasn't done anything. So do y'all think that carteling these few votes is taking?
Yes, they do. Yes, that's what my last caller said. I said the same, like, the drug business is $1 trillion business. You're not going to blow up 100 people and make motherfuckers stop chasing that bag. That's insane. Like I said, they send people in coal mines, and the mine collapses and they all die. But because there's so much money in coal, they send another group in. You're not going to stop $1 trillion business. That ain't going to stop.
Here's the other thing, Tim, about it is you worried about this. You need to be, there's a whole lot of prescription smugs out there that people are addicted to. That they're not talking about.
Yeah, but that would mean arresting the wrong kind of people. So that ain't gonna happen.
What'd you say? What'd you say?
That would mean arresting the wrong kind of people. That's why the opioid epidemic never faced the same criminality as all the other drug epidemics.
And what kind of people would those be, Tim?
Educated physicians.
Yeah. And we know who owns who's the predominant demographic in those roles, Tim?
Men.
Of course.
Men.
This country will never, ever go after white men. Not with the same veracity. And here's the other thing, by the way. Since Maduro is so bad, but then we got a man named Juan Orlando Hernandez that is out.
That makes no sense at all, that you would pardon a drug kingpin in the middle of what's supposed to be a drug war. That's what I keep saying. It's the same thing with the Somali fraud. You're going at the fraud while pardoning fraudsters. I mean, but I don't know what it is about Trump, but I give him credit because he can make MAGA focus on one thing and do something very similar, and it just gets no attention at all. He's pardoning fraudsters while talking about going at the Somali fraud. He's pardoning drug kingpins while talking about. I don't know how he's able to do it, but I envy him. He's good
because he goes to the least common denominator for these people. It's fear. It's fear. He really zooms in on fear and hate. And let's face it, Tim. That has been the root of everything in this country for generations. You know that, and I know that. I know you don't want to say it. I'll say it. I don't give a fuck. The bottom line is people find it easier to hate something they don't understand, or where they're made to think that thing or that person is the reason they're not as successful as they should be. Why do you think people demonize migrants? And you've seen these videos out there like, well, how are they driving that thing? How are they living in that house? How do they have that thing? All of that came from this demonization that they are not better than you. They are beneath you. So the minute you can get those people to believe, and LBJ said it too, to believe that those people are taking from you, because white America is a net zero sum, right? Like, you getting something means you're taking it away from me, so I don't want anyone to have it. And
I've heard that.
You know I'm telling the truth. If I'm not going to take it from you, I just want to make sure that there's equity. They would rather have nothing than be equitable.
Yeah, so I've heard stuff like, and I'm not for certain of this, but I've heard stuff like college education used to cost little to nothing and be free until blacks could get access to it. Healthcare. I mean, I have heard that some of these social programs used to be available to everyone until minorities, once, I guess civil rights laws and stuff, once minorities had access to it, as opposed to letting minorities have access to this stuff, they chose to make it unavailable at all.
100%. Think about this. I mean, and this is in every walk of life. This is in business. This is in sports. I mean, people try to act as if that there's always been equitable. And when examples are used, they always use the extreme. What do you mean you guys are oppressed? You guys got Michael Jordan, and you got Magic Johnson, and you got Shaq, and you got LeBron. What are you guys talking about?
You got Oprah. You got Oprah.
What do you mean you got Oprah? Nobody's all this bullshit. But we're watching the president say, nope, we are going back to a time when we say make America great again is when you had nothing.
Well, he denies that, and so does MAGA. I got to move it on, Mike. But they denied it, but they deny what you're saying.
I'm going to say this last thing, and then I'll go. Their actions are telling a different story. Their actions are telling a different story. Tim, now I met you in August of 2023 on this app, right? August 2023.
I couldn't recall the date, but go ahead.
Yeah, I remembered because that's when can you tell the people in here that I'm going to say 80% of the shit that's happening, was I saying this shit back in 2023, Tim?
Majority of it, yeah. Not the Maduro shit, though. This is new.
No. Yeah, the Maduro shit is new, but the actions, this is all in their Project 2025, Tim. This is all in their idea of what they want this country to be. I've been talking this shit since 2021. And I've been trying to tell people, none of this is by mistake. I'm not surprised of any of this shit. And it's going to get worse before it gets better. It's going to get worse.
I hope you're wrong. I gotta go. I hope you're wrong, though, Mike. Thank you.
All right, bro.
All right. And look, listen, when Trump ran for office for the second term, he stated he didn't know anything about Project 2025. So it was liberal fear mongering or something like that, coming from the libs to demonize the right. But yeah, if you get access to that, it's pretty obvious that we're on course to make that reality. We're well over half of that. I think it was like 900 pages of that. Well over half of that stuff has come true. So anyway, and I see in the comments, Misty says he never read it. Yeah, well, even if you didn't read it, but members of your trusted members of your campaign or of your administration are the ones you leave responsible to implement it. You don't have to read it. I mean, as a president, you can't read everything. I mean, you can't get involved in every aspect of governing America. So you put part of your administration over this. You're over streets and sanitation, or you're over schools, or what. You don't read everything. You put people in that you think are the best and brightest, or in this case, the ones that are going to implement what you want. So thank you, Fitness Geek. I need to be one of those. Real quick in the comments here. Will G says MAGA and Trump ain't shit. And I see that's what Will G says in Arcean. I think it says Arcean. International law is invalid and undermines a nation's sovereignty. Why is your caller such a bootlicker? He clearly has no convictions. What do you mean international law is invalid? I've never heard that before. International law is valid. Why would you say international law is invalid? He said international law is invalid and undermines a nation's sovereignty. We go in countries all the damn time because they're violating international law and shit like that. Hey, didn't we go in Iraq because Saddam Hussein was killing his own people and shit? We do that all the time. It's invalid when it doesn't work in our favor, but it's valid when we need to use it. I don't get that one. Which was it? Watch once we get Venezuelan oil, gas prices drop a solid $1.50. That ain't gonna happen, Brandon. The pricing. First of all, I think one of the things when we've discussed that on the program, tap the screen, get us up to 75,000. One of the things about Venezuelan oil, I think that many folks are not discussing is the time it takes to make those refineries go from inefficient to productive. The analysts are saying as much as 10 years. They're saying that Venezuela has the largest oil reserves, but the facilities are so dilapidated, it's going to cost billions of dollars and take as much as a decade to get them up and producing. You hear Trump talking about, we're going to send American oil companies in there and spend billions of dollars. Trump is even telling you that. So even if the Venezuelan oil falls in our hands and we start benefiting and using it, that might be after Trump's life. I don't even know if Trump has 10 more years of life left. And I'm not wishing any ill will on Trump, but the man is about to turn 80. He may not even be around to see that culminate. So it's not like we're going to go into Venezuela and start shipping out useful oil tomorrow. It's not like that. It's going to take time to get that shit up and running. So the idea that gas is going to drop down to $1.50 a gallon and all that stuff, this is not an overnight thing. Mr. G, Will G says the same maggots that were happy to revoke TPS, temporary protected status for Venezuelans, think they can sympathize with them over oppression. That's the argument I've been making over and over again, is that the actions of President Trump over the last 12 months does not indicate that he cares about the welfare of the Venezuelan people. It does not indicate that. What he did in regards to taking out Maduro this weekend is something the Venezuelan people are very happy about. Not going to argue that. But that doesn't exclude what he's been doing for the previous 11 months. There's a good chance with him knowing that Maduro was a very oppressive, dangerous regime leader, and the poverty that was in Venezuela, interest rates, triple-digit interest, people, faced with hunger and starvation. And President Trump was literally attempting to deport thousands of people back to that environment after they had fled that environment in hopes of a better life in America. He was shutting our doors to giving them any sort of hope and forcibly sending them back into that environment. That does not come across as if he cares about the life and health of the Venezuelan people. What he did this weekend doesn't erase all of that, because there's a really good chance that some of them folks he sent back may not even be with us anymore. They may have been killed. They may not be around anymore. Not to mention, if you're in that environment, that might be a motivation out of desperation to take a few drugs on a boat and hope the cartel pays you enough money to feed your family. Because I don't think anybody believes that those boats or those vessels being blown up were being operated by any high-level ranking member of any cartel or drug smuggler. It was low-level people. I don't think anybody believes that those are high-level people being blown up. It's low-level people. Easy to find those in a country that's desperate and starving. Anyway, looking in the comments here real quick. Are you a Republican? I'm confused. I lean politically left. I am left of center. I'm not so far left that I think everything the Democrats do is right, or so everything the Republicans do are wrong. I can see some good and bad in both sides, but I am slightly left of center. Pro-choice, minimum wage increase, some of the traditional left-leaning sentiments. I lean left of center. But I am 100% MAGA friendly. I believe in free speech. That's why you see the MAGA hat on the program every time we're on. It's to let you know when you come here, regardless of what your political ideology is, you will be allowed to speak without being blocked, banned, or censored. We are a MAGA friendly program. I say that all the time. Like and subscribe. I like that, Stormin Norman. For you folks that are watching for the first time, feel free to go ahead and sub to the program. I just want to say something real quick before I move on. I got multiple cameras staring at me. Some of you guys are watching me live on Instagram right now. Some are watching live on TikTok right now. If you enjoy this type of program and follow the program, others are watching me live on YouTube right now. And if you enjoy it, feel free to subscribe. But I often get the comment about, what the hell is wrong with your fucking eyes? There's nothing wrong with my eyes. I'm staring at multiple cameras and they're focused on me at different angles. So when I'm not looking at your camera, whichever you're watching me on, my face may look, whatever. Eyes, it just happens like that. I don't know why it does that, but I get that all the time, particularly from you fucks on this camera here on YouTube. Anyway, look at the comments. Why you look like 6th grade football coach? Okay, all right. Thank you, Sterlo. Says you look great, Tim, because I don't feel that way. I'm still under the weather from dealing with the flu. Cuba should be next, period, in charge with Rico for also being part of the Maduro cartel. What the fuck happened to America first? Now all of a sudden, we've went from America first to damn near the Third Reich. We're going to just start attacking all of the fucking nations in our hemisphere? Whatever happened to America first? Take out Maduro, go get Cuba, go get Colombia. Just turn into a badass. What the hell is being done for the American people? Are we going to keep bragging on 20-cent cheaper gas forever? No concern about grocery prices not coming down, housing prices, car prices. No concern about that. Just go and attack everybody. What the fuck? I don't get that. Fun for a stream deck, says Weatherable. You need to let me know what that is. You need to let me know what that is. Tim gets that motion. Definitely ain't Christian like what these cycles are doing. Well, I don't get it. You want to, okay, you don't took out Maduro. Now you're talking about taking out Cuba. He's threatening Colombia. He's also threatening Greenland over and over again. This sounds like Adolf, starting with Poland. I don't see how he was supposed to be so much better than Biden. We enjoyed Trump's first economy, so we were dreaming of bringing that back. We weren't dreaming of war. I don't get it. Anyway, looking in the comments, for the American people, we get new oil reserves and minerals that will provide money. So you're just going to go around and steal shit. He says, for the American people, we get new oil reserves and minerals that will provide money, land, jobs for Americans. Stop being ignorant. So just fuck everybody else in your hemisphere, because you're not providing anything for the Venezuelans by doing it. You're taking their shit and keeping it. I mean, what is this, colonization part 98 or something? God. But I'll tell you something, though. That mindset, at least it admits the truth. We don't give a shit about those people. We just want what they have of value to help benefit us. You are actually being a bit honest with that. He's keeping us safe. That was our oil, by the way. Okay, all right. What is that? Says right the question for the thieving Vikings. Who's next? He's not taking anything from anybody. Get your facts straight, fools. I think MAGA wants him to take shit from people. I think you're wrong on that one. I think if Trump takes oil and it benefits us, MAGA will be happy about that. I think they kind of want him to do that. So I think you're wrong about that. James Harper, good evening.
What's going on, Tim?
Oh, I don't even know, man. I'm in the trenches on this one. Maduro's been taken out. Did we do a good thing or did we get it wrong on this one?
We got it wrong on this one. Not the fact that we took him out, it's the fact that the way things were done. If we were doing it for the people, we should have made it so that the person that they elected, that won their election, should have been able to like transition into power. But no, all we did was cut the head off the snake and left the rest of the body there to grow back.
Well, the Venezuelans are celebrating, though.
The Iraqis did the same thing, and then what happened? Rather they got done celebrating, all those wannabe people that were too afraid to take power, what did they do? They came running in to try and take control.
Yeah. So what do you think is going to be a power vacuum in Venezuela like that?
No, because this Maduro's second in command took over, and like their courts said that she was a legitimate leader. So basically, instead of like them actually stopping anything, all they did was the same thing that would happen if we lost our president. The vice president takes over.
Yeah, but Trump is threatening that woman now too.
Because he thinks that he got away with just doing it and not getting any pushback from it.
I think he did get away with it.
We got to see what Congress and the Supreme Court does. But yeah,
are you really expecting anything from Congress right now?
No, I'm not. But that's another thing. Straight talk. Stop letting that man come up here lying. First he's talking about like, oh, I on these humanitarian missions. I was in this war and that war. That man was a paper jockey. He even admitted that shit himself.
Really?
That man was nowhere near any kind of action.
Well, the man has an opinion. Listen, he's MAGA. I don't mind him coming up with his opinion's different from yours, but
you really want to take the opinion of somebody that said that Trump's face should be on all four spots on Mount Rushmore?
Did he say that?
He said that the last time he was up here with you just now. He said that shit.
I didn't hear that part. Trump's face should be in all four spots on Mount Rushmore. Damn.
Then he said, and then he tried to say like, oh, it's dangerous for them to try and capture the boats with the 50 cal, even though that's what our National Guard's been doing for as long as
and that's why I asked him. I said, "You're in the military. Why would you say something dumb like that?" Like, yeah, that's how we've always stopped drug boats at sea, even the fast movers.
Like I said, he wasn't one of the ones that was out there doing these things. He was the guy furthest from the line of action, like handling paperwork.
I mean, I have no military background whatsoever. I mean, they Discovery Channel and the Learning Channel and National Geographic, they've shown people being drug smugglers being taken out at sea, and it's always been with a Coast Guard, Black Hawk or something like that, fly right beside the thing and either fire rounds in front of it so that the people that are on board see those rounds hitting the water, and they're letting you know if you don't stop, these rounds are going to start hitting you. And they've always been able to do that.
Right. And that's what we say. He saw about that's a waste of time, and that puts a risk on our people. And no, it's not. The problem is MAGA likes cruelty to people that can't be cruel back to him.
Wow. And that's what he said. He voted for Trump because Trump puts a missile right up their ass.
No, they swear up and down that that Trump was the president, the no new wars president, things like that, until he starts doing stuff. It was the same thing with his first term. When he first got in, he started dropping bombs in Afghanistan. And they were talking about, oh, look, we now got a president with balls, even though they keep reminding everybody that Obama did more drone strikes than anybody president before him.
Well, Trump does seem to have Trump's thought process is strength through aggression. I mean, that appears to be, he uses I almost want to say violence as a first option. Like, normally they say, go lethal as a last option.
Hey, hold on, Tim. MAGA reacts. If he ended ISIS, who's the one attacking in Nigeria right now?
Yeah, ISIS.
Who's the group in Nigeria right now?
Yeah,
if he ended ISIS.
Who believes that Trump ended ISIS? That's crazy.
MAGA reacts.
You can't. Well, first of all, you cannot get rid of a movement. Al Qaeda still exists.
No. He's going off of what Trump said when Trump was taking credit for the strikes that Putin did, and it crippled ISIS. Talking about, we got victory over ISIS.
Yeah, you can't. I mean, you can have victory over different sects of ISIS, but ISIS is a movement. I mean, anybody can become a member of ISIS. Anybody that subscribes to whatever their mindset is, or has the same gripe or anger as them, you can become a member of ISIS. It's like Hamas or any of these other groups. Anybody can become one of them. So you can't. You're never going to get rid of that. You can hopefully squash it to the point where it's not enough for them to unify and come out in the open for fear of getting killed. But that movement it's just like with the Nazis, for instance. We beat them in World War II. That movement is everywhere still. There are Nazis there's Nazis on every damn continent. You can't get rid of a movement. So I don't know why anybody would think that Trump got rid of ISIS. That's not going to happen. A movement will always be there. But yeah, he has a difference of opinion on that. So you don't believe that Trump was trying to look out for the Venezuelans in any way, shape, or form?
No, he said it him damn self. He was after the oil.
No, he definitely started talking about oil pretty early on. That is absolutely true.
Like, his thing is, if America does anything in your for your country, you owe us your resources. Because he did the same thing with Zelensky.
Yeah.
He told Zelensky, hey, part of this agreement for us to help you with your country is you got to give us the mineral rights that's in your country.
Yeah. You don't get a free ride with Trump. A lot of Americans like that. A lot of MAGA like that. Pay for your way. You don't get a free ride with Trump. Biden was giving the Ukraine free shit, free weapons, free help, free surveillance. Trump was like, you're going to pay for all this stuff. And you're going to pay for what Biden gave you too.
And his idea of help was, it wasn't even, hey, I'm going to make sure that you get to keep your country. No. His idea was help was, hey, you're gonna placate your attacker and let them get this territory right here with the promise that they won't invade further.
Yeah. He still feels that way, that the Ukrainians should give up some of their country to end the war. He still feels that way.
But in the same breath, he's like, "Oh, I don't like dictators who hurt their people." But you sitting there telling Ukraine to reward Putin.
Yeah. Well, listen, sometimes Trump does have a way of mixing messages, because speaking favorably of Putin, which Trump has done a lot of that. He's been speaking favorably of Putin before getting reelected. I mean, that's the reason why a lot of MAGA was like the Tucker Carlsons and stuff like that. They started out really liking Putin because Trump was saying so many positive things about him.
They came out pro Putin.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are still pro Putin.
Right. So it is crazy to suggest that they got an issue, that Trump has an issue with dictators like Maduro when they've been speaking so favorably of Putin. That is a contradiction in terms to some degree.
MAGA's values altogether are a contradiction of themselves. They swear up and down they're for small government until Trump's in power. They don't like dictators unless Trump likes that dictator. They don't want America in new conflicts unless Trump starts it.
Well, I mean, Trump is the man. I mean, Trump has some sort of power. Listen, I think the belief is we've had a lot of failed politicians that did not know what the hell they were doing, did the wrong shit for America, and Trump came along and the focus was on making America so great that we believe this guy's vision to the point where we'll even try from a big government standpoint, a small government standpoint, whatever. We just believe that this guy has the right way.
But whenever you ask them, like, when y'all say make America great, what time were y'all talking about? And they will never be able to give you that answer because Trump never gave them that answer. They don't know what era he was talking about.
Well, Mike said it's the 1950s.
I think it might go back further than that because this man is talking about tariffs and things like that. And it's like most of these presidents, they were against tariffs because it wasn't helping the country.
Yeah, I don't.
Talk about 2026. Stop lying.
Well, I will say the phrase "Make America Great Again," it didn't start with President Trump. Reagan used it. I believe Clinton used it. However, it is something when you add the word "again," something to ask. What era are you going back? Because again means it's happened before. So when was America great? Now, the none, because I know a lot of folks start thinking about racism and oppression. The non-racism answer could be making America great again means two-parent household, bringing back Christianity in schools, Christianity in the family. You know, when the kids would sit down at the dinner table.
So if we're going to do that, what do we do about the Sikh, the Hindu, the atheists, all these people who don't believe in Christianity?
Christian
what
country.
Are they supposed to do?
The belief is a Christian country. They're not concerned with them.
See, and there lies the problem.
I'm just telling you, most religions are pro their religion. Most religions are not very friendly to other religions. Each religion tells you this is the one and only true religion that you're in. So yeah, you don't find a religious group that is like, hey, we cool with all the other ones. No, those are false gods.
Right.
Yeah. So,
but
go ahead.
Back to this Venezuela thing. Like I said, like part of the stuff that Gangsta Grandma was talking about, yeah, she was right about like them other countries. They were not happy about this shit, and OPEC's not happy about it. And Trump doesn't control OPEC. He thinks he does, but he don't.
No, I don't think anybody in the Hispanic community is going to be happy about what Trump is doing down there because, I mean, he's making it clear you could be next. He's threatening other countries in the region as well. So, yeah, I mean, and then, of course, with the deportations and some of his comments about shithole countries and garbage and stuff like that, it's safe to assume there's a lot of folks in the Hispanic community from many of those countries down there that probably think that Trump does not have their best interests at heart. I mean,
none of those countries have their best interests. He's out to steal resources. He already said before he got in the office, he told them oil barons, hey, you give me money, I'll make sure you make more money than you've ever made.
Well, the man is a deal maker. That's one reason why people like him. The man knows how to schmooze.
Yeah, he makes deals all right, but they ain't legal deals.
They at the end of the day, if the deal stands, it's just as good. I mean, you can call it illegal, but if ain't nobody stopping it, it's just as good.
Oh, they've stopped some stuff before. And what do you always say? Oh, it's a hoax. It's a witch hunt. It's a victimless crime. I shouldn't be. He didn't say I didn't do it. He just says it's a victimless crime. I should get immunity because I'm the president. And then for the people like Jeremy talking about who cares about the international court? Well, Trump and his corporation, his administration does, because they tried to get his ass immunity. Him and BB.
Yeah. Well, I'll just say it like this. He is winning. When Trump said, if you vote for me, you're going to get tired of winning. Now, he's the one that's winning. I don't believe his supporters are winning, but he is winning over and over again. So you can't hate on the guy for doing what has been working his whole life. He has a way of always winning and getting what he wants. And old dog, new trick. You can't blame the guy. He's doing what has always worked for him.
Yeah, he's doing what has worked for him because every time it's time for him to take responsibility, somebody takes the fall for him.
Hey, if you can find folks willing to do that, more power to you. That's all I'll say. I mean, I get it. You're right. There are always people taking the fall around Trump, but there are no shortage of new people willing to do it because Pam Bondi is going to take a fall. She's going to lose her law license. Guaranteed. Eventually, she's going to lose the ability to practice law.
She going to lose her law license. Cash Patel, he going to get some charges up for all that stuff he's been doing, using the FBI as personal security for his girlfriend. Like Dan Bon Jovi, he dipped off before he could even do anything. He made sure, hey, I want no parts of this.
Yeah, well, hopefully he may already have enough in it. I mean, I think what was her name, Elena Hobbit. All of them lawyers he was getting to literally do his bidding to go after Jim Comey or James Comey, whatever that guy. All of them folks. What was the other lady? The one that went after Comey and they ruled that she wasn't even qualified to take the case. I mean, she done.
She already disappeared.
Yeah, her law license. Once you get a different administration in office, they're gonna go after all of them folks would not be able to practice law anymore because they're allowing him to use them in ways that they know is not ethical, and they will end up going before the board and probably losing their ability to practice law. I got to move it on though, James, and I appreciate you holding, man. Thank you for that. Dealing with a cold, but thanks you for holding, man. I got to move it on though.
All right.
Good talk. Thanks. All right. By the way, folks, tap the screen. Get me over the 2K hump. I would never put my licenses in jeopardy. I worked too hard for mine. No way. Unspoken love. Your counsel, huh? Good on you, man. Good on you. Something I aspired to do, but I wasn't successful at it. I will say though that when you say you would not put your law license in jeopardy, look, lawyers like to make money. If you can roll with a president that's got your back, you may make so much money from that time period that you may not give a damn if you practice law at all again anyway. I mean, it depends on how much money you make. I mean, like we talked about Marjorie Taylor Greene, for instance. She just left Congress today. I think it's her last day. She made like $25 million. I mean, if you're just an average lawyer or something like shit, 25 million, would you take this and lose your ability to practice law? There's a lot of lawyers that would say, yeah, I would take that. So it depends on what you're doing. It depends on how much money is thrown at you. Rudolph Giuliani thought it was enough. He lost his ability to practice law for rolling with Trump during his first term and all of that fake elector shit. Sidney Powell is another one that lost her ability to practice law dealing with Trump from the first term. And it's gonna be some more of them from this term. Anytime look, when Trump says it's a witch hunt and they're coming after me, and then he becomes president, and then he deliberately tries to go after the people that came after him, the lawyers that are doing that stuff for him know that he is using them for revenge. That goes against the ethics. The letter that he sent Pam Bondi telling her to go after Jim Comey before the statute of limitations ran out and to go after Letitia James and all of that shit, she gonna lose her ability to practice law. I mean, your job is to be an attorney for the United States, not an attorney for the president. He's not supposed to be able to use you like an axe to go after his enemies with. That's not how that's supposed to work. And that's what Pam Bondi is allowing Trump to do, is use her as a weapon to go after people. And there's going to be a price for that. I mean, she went through law school. She knows what she's doing goes against ethics. I'm sure she got friends and things like that have either told her or warned her or, or getting away from her. Like, I don't want to have no part of this shit. When you starting to have to come up, they all know what they're doing. So it is what it is. It ain't like she does not know what she's doing is going to require some questions to be answered. And she's going to lose her ability to practice law. I don't think nobody is crying about Trump, just trying to prove he's tougher, which is great. We need that, but we need to hold how much information we give and sell out by educating related countries. Proving that you're tough, like, for instance, blowing up those boats, to me, that's not proving that you're tough. To me, that's just proving that you don't mind killing. I don't know if I see him proving that he's tough. I think he is proving that he's proving that he prefers to be lethal. Does that mean he's tough? Depends on how you look at it. But I think he likes to prove that he will kill. He will be lethal. He will be as harsh as possible. So take it as you may. Anyhow, folks, I do unfortunately got to step away. I'm still feeling like shit dealing with this cold. I do appreciate you guys tuning in. As always, the 200,000 likes is impressive. Same for you folks on YouTube. Hopefully you guys are subscribing to the program. We'll certainly be here again tomorrow, because with Trump, every day is a fucking news day, right? It's never been like that. It's never been like that. Every day is a news day. Miss Mobetta, what do you mean you quit me? What do you mean? You can't do that. You can't do that. No, Miss Mobetta. Anyway, that hurt. Why would you quit me? I don't get that. I need to find out. You got me on one knee yelling, please, please, please.
You was on your last strike, Tim.
Justine. Wait a minute.
You was on your last strike.
No, what's happening is you're coming in the middle. You're coming toward the end of the program, and I'm not seeing you like that.
I've been on here for 2 hours, Tim.
I didn't see you.
On holds for 2 hours. This is not the first time. It's like the 4th time you did it.
What did I fuck up on? What am I missing on today's show?
Just know you was on your last strike, or I was quitting.
Oh my God. I'm glad I caught you packing your luggage. I caught you walking out the back of the house. Come back on in, baby. I got some hot cocoa waiting for you. I
sat and crocheted an entire hat waiting to get on.
Oh my Lord. Okay, well, I'm glad.
I'm going to show you. Look. Crocheting a whole hat waiting for you.
Oh my God. Okay.
Stop playing.
Oh yeah, you're right. That looks nice. I need to crochet you one of those. Okay. So we're talking about.
People be on hold so long, I be forgetting my point sometimes.
Well, the point is, Trump is showing nothing but love and adoration for the Venezuelan people.
That's a joke. I know you're being facetious. I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna blame it on the flu. You got shit going on in your head. I'm gonna blame that on the flu. Love and admiration. The devil is a whole lie. Stop, Tim. Well, like I said, when Satan got kicked out of heaven, he took a third of them with him.
Damn.
That's him and MAGA right now. A third of the country supports him.
Are you really comparing MAGA to?
Yep, they don't care. They don't care about their neighbors. They antimonious. They only claim Christianity when it's in their favor. That's all of that fits into that narrative of how Satan works. Do you know he knows the Bible front to back?
Well, he was a fallen angel, and I see in the comments, Lori Ann says, I am a Republican, and even I don't believe that he cares about the Venezuelan people. Wow.
He doesn't, Tim. Again, how are you going to deport the people, like you said, throw them back into the fire just to go over there with a fire extinguisher and say, oh, I saved you?
Yeah.
No, that's not how that works.
Yeah, when you spend 11 months deporting them back to this evil regime, and then if the evil regime don't take them back, then you're gonna send them to CCOT in El Salvador. So you clearly don't care nothing about these people.
Yeah, you don't care. He's been talking about this regime change and all kinds of stuff. Listen, this is my personal belief of TikTok. I believe that the man bought himself a pardon. He's probably spoken to Trump already, saying, "Listen, Trump say I come over there and get you. I'll give you a pardon, but I got to take that oil."
So you think Maduro did make a deal with Trump?
Oh, yes, he did. He had a whole fashion show when they arrested his ass. How many times he done changed goddamn clothes? Listen.
He does look good. He does look rather good there.
We ain't here to change clothes. You got asylum seekers and shit that don't even have changing clothes. That's probably in the same facility.
Yeah, I wondered if all of a sudden we are so upset in regards to drug dealers sending drugs into this country, we're blowing them up at sea. Why didn't he just blow up Maduro? Maduro's, according to him.
Yeah, exactly. Not only that, you arrest him and just let one go. Like you just pardon one. So what is it? Are you against it or are you for it? Like, see, he thinks everybody thinks like MAGA does. Like, oh, these people are stupid. I'm gonna just tell them anything and they're gonna believe it.
So you
That's
believe
what makes them a cult.
So you believe that MAGA just believes anything Trump says?
And do.
And who?
And do.
Wow.
Yes, yes, they do.
Well, you did hear.
Yes, I do believe they do.
You did hear my viewer Straight Talk say he's never heard Trump tell a lie before.
That old Pabst Blue Ribbon porch monkey don't know a goddamn thing. He gets up here running his stuttering ass mouth and don't be talking about shit. You know how many fucking titles he done had so far since he's been on your show?
What is a porch monkey? That sounds kind of racist, Miss Mobetta.
No, that ain't got nothing to do with race. That's his act.
Okay, I've never heard of a porch monkey. That's a new one. That's a new one. I just ain't never heard of that one before. So
yeah, no, he's that uncooked protein. Against the grandma be talking about. He talk about you don't stand on business. You ain't standing on shit. He just getting up there running his damn mouth.
Well, he believes what he's saying. I see in the comments, Anthony says, I never voted in my life, but this president has done a lot of things.
Yeah, they ain't good.
I will say this.
Everything he's done it to benefit himself. How much do American people think that this stuff is going to cost us? It ain't free.
I'll tell you this. The reason why, and this is just my analysis. I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. I think the reason why MAGA sees a lot more accomplishments in President Trump than, say, liberals or even independents is because they're going solely based on what Trump is telling them. If Trump says we saved $1 trillion with Doge, we saved $1 trillion. If that ain't true, there is nobody that can tell them that is going to make them believe it over Trump. If Trump is still saying we saved $1 trillion, you're not gonna get CNN or anybody, even somebody.
Not only that, Tim, he got rid of the people who actually check those. There's no checks and balances here. The checks and balances are gone. So he can get up there and say anything and they'll buy it. Oh, the president said it. He's the president of the country. It has to be true. Yeah. He is in a Guinness Book of World Records probably for telling the most lies as a president.
Mm. Well, I know for a fact when Elon and Vivek didn't run Doge much, but it was Elon doing it. And when they were bragging about how much money they were finding in fraud and waste and abuse, a ton of those numbers got disproven and cut and reduced. And MAGA believes the original statements they gave out. So Doge saved a lot less money than what MAGA believes. MAGA believes the tariffs are going to bring back a fortune to America. Most of the analysts say that's not going to happen.
They're doing everything but asking, what kind of health insurance do people have now? The people that just lost it. And believe it or not, most of his supporters were on that Affordable Care Act, a.k.a. Obamacare.
I actually believe that is why Trump appears to be doing a lot more for MAGA than a lot of other people, is because they're ranking Trump's statements as more truthful than anyone else. So if he says
they're good with his concepts,
yeah,
they're good with him just having concepts. He doesn't have to prove anything else. Oh well, he has a concept. He's been having a concept for the last 15 years. He has a concept, and let's not forget that these midterms are coming up. His poll numbers are horrible.
Well, do you think it's going to be a normal election, though, Miss Mo?
No, trust me, he's gonna find a way to fuck that package up.
Ooh.
He gonna mess that church's money up, and you can believe that. It's gonna be such hell when it comes to those midterms. Till and not only that, release those unredacted files.
I've seen in the comments somebody, Josh, he says Venezuela is under attack again right now. I do have on News Nation, and it does have the ticker reports of gunfire and anti-aircraft fire shots surrounding Venezuelan presidential palace in West Caracas. Apparently, she was talking shit, and Trump is coming in.
Because she said that she's not backing down to him. She said, "I'm not backing down," and he's threatened to say that he's going to retaliate with more conflict. So MAGA, how about no new wars? Is that a war yet?
No, it's not a war to MAGA, because a war is only a war when we're shooting and they're shooting back. When they are shooting back now in this case, though. But I think
yeah, they are.
Yeah, I think
they didn't think January 6th was an insurrection either.
Yeah, they don't believe that at all. You're right. They don't
believe he's in the Epstein files. They don't believe shit. But hey, MAGA, I got a yacht here for sale for $400. Y'all come get it. Just for $400.
That's gonna sink. That's gonna sink real quick.
Like it's insane. That's when a person is insane. You can see the evidence and still won't believe it. That's when you're insane.
Yeah.
For those who don't know what being insane is.
And you believe that MAGA is insane.
Most of them are.
Well,
most of them are, and I'm being nice.
Well, the Venezuelans are celebrating.
You are the evidence. You are the evidence. That's all the evidence we need.
The Venezuelans are celebrating right now.
Listen, they're celebrating like we do over here. How half of the country doesn't like our leader. That's how they are over there. Yeah. Half of those people over there don't like their leader either. It's no different. It's just that they're not as economically strong as we are, but they have the same issues that we have here. We just on a bigger scale. Let's not be fools about that.
Well, are you saying that if somebody came in this country and took Trump out by military force,
he asked for it?
You saying that some Americans would be happy about that?
Yeah, a lot of Americans would be happy about that.
Yikes.
I mean, again, let's not believe that we can't be touched, because it has been done. Let's tell the families of 9/11 that we can't be touched. Listen, they know we care about money. You have people that move in strategic ways. That we may not have the military power, but when it comes to technology and stuff like that, those other countries are far ahead of America.
Yeah, I got a Caribbean cruise coming up. I'm concerned about leaving the country right now. I mean, I really am. I can't imagine those who live outside the country.
I mean, because now it's like heightened. And especially if you're going in those regions, I would be very concerned also. Because now who's to say that piracy or any of that stuff won't happen? Because that stuff still exists. Like a lot of stuff just don't go away because of one or two instances. Stuff is still happening.
Yeah, I absolutely think that we've always been in the crosshairs for terrorists, because of our involvement in the rest of the world and trying to control everybody. But I think it's taken a whirlwind approach under Trump. I mean, he's literally threatening everybody simultaneously. He's either threatening folks, attacking folks, or fucking him up with tariffs. I mean,
tariff.
Yeah,
he had sanctions on Venezuela way back in 2017 when he started sanctioning people down there then. So it is. So it's like he started a lot of shit when he was in office before, but didn't get a chance to finish because he lost.
Well,
so now it's like, all right, I got to pick up where so we could have been in the same situation if he would have had his the 8 consecutive years. We could have been going through that then. But now he came back with a whole vengeance because he lost, and he just don't care. You see, he doesn't go to Congress for anything with their weak asses, and they keep talking about Biden was weak. Ain't nobody weaker than this congressional regime we have right now. Mike Johnson was weak as fuck.
Yeah, I gotta say, I think that this Congress may go down in history as the most inept Congress we've ever had. Other than the big beautiful bill, they've done nothing for it. They've had basically a vacation for an entire year.
Yep, that's a fact. And you see, they kowtow for him. It's nothing he could do wrong in their eyes. And then, like James was just saying, they're the ones who are going to pay for that, not him. Trump's going to ride off into the sunset. If somebody don't take him out, he's going to ride off into the sunset, go live his life with his rich kids over somewhere and where they don't have any extradition laws or anything. And everybody else is going to stay here and pay for it, like his last regime.
Wow. That very well could happen. But yeah, this Congress, man, it's like you guys should have to pay some of that money back. I mean, y'all get this what is the purpose of even being there? Y'all just, I mean, like you don't hear them voting on anything. He was pardoning
criminals and commuting their sentences to where they don't nobody got to pay back shit. Because that's how he got on. So he's like, all right, fuck it, I'll let y'all do it too. But they think that's America winning. But like I said, how much is it costing America for this going on with Venezuela right now? How much is it costing us?
Well, they tallied it up so far at $1 billion. I mean, but if they're over there doing shit right now, they're spending more money. Each one of them rockets costs a fortune. I mean, it don't take many of those to add up fast. The cruise missiles are like $500,000 apiece.
What's her name in it? We're not talking about Joe Biden right now. Let's stick to the topic. Always pivoting. Y'all talk about Joe Biden more than Trump do. And every other sentence he says is Biden, Obama, Biden. It's like a song out in his fucking head. Biden. Oh, Biden couldn't do this.
Well,
that's a sociopath.
I say all the time, if you give what the definition of Trump derangement syndrome is, and you take Trump's name off of it, so you're just defining what it means to have derangement syndrome, it's pretty clear Trump has Biden derangement syndrome. Whatever, and I talk to MAGA on this all the time, like, give me your definition of what derangement syndrome is. Can't stop talking about the guy. His name is always in your mouth. You hate everything he does. Like Trump is doing all of that to Biden. Trump has Biden derangement syndrome.
Trump has no substance. He has a bully mentality, and he feels the first thing a bully does is insult other people. That's his whole tactic.
He's been very.
You go back and look at all of his speeches, most of his speeches and stuff. It's always attacking somebody else. He never wants to accept accountability. That's a part of narcissism. We all know that.
But you got to give the man credit. Like I said, like I told Mike, it's an old dog new trick. I mean, what Trump has done has been very successful for him his whole life. It's gotten him
himself.
Well, yeah.
I don't do selfish. I'm sorry. I don't do selfish.
I get it, but I get what
that's on period.
I mean, I get what you're saying, but I can't blame Trump for doing what has always worked for him. I
ain't say I blame him for anything. I still ain't giving him the credit.
Okay.
He do what he do. That's his supporters to figure that shit out.
Yeah.
His fan club.
Yeah. Well, they like what he's doing. They're totally fine. I mean, he's narcissistic.
Because they slow. I'm sorry. They slow.
You can't suggest that.
I don't know what else to tell them.
You cannot suggest that. You cannot suggest that.
They're worried about gas. Oh, my gas went down 5 cents today. My gas. But you go to the grocery store and you're going to pay an extra $30, $40 in the grocery store. So how is that evening out? How much gas do you actually put in your car a week?
Well, the belief is, Ms. Mobetta, that eventually groceries are going to come down too. That's what they believe.
One day. And most of those people talking that shit living in states where they pay $7.25 an hour. Make that make sense.
I can't speak on that. All right, Ms. Mo, I do got to move it on and go take me some rest. And don't you run away next time, all right?
Listen, next time you have me on hold until the end of the show, and then end the show is, man, you got issues.
We can't have issues. We can have issues, but not like that. We'll talk on the outside. We can have some issues, but not like that.
Well, we have to talk about off screen.
All right, there we go. There we go. It's a knit me a hat. All right, thank you.
I will.
Catch you later. All right, good talk. All right, moving on. And by the way, folks, yeah, I do got it. You never got a call from, what does it says? You never got to. You are the bus. Don't get that. I didn't see you, Dark Side Rider. Says he said up upset. Never. What the hell is going on? I didn't see you in. I don't know where you were, but I didn't see that. Because certainly would not have done that to you. Researching for factual information is a must. You can't repeat what TV news say because we know it's all like. Here's the problem, though. You rightfully point out, and what is the name there, bitch, or what does that say the name is? BTCA. Okay, it doesn't say bitch, but the same letters are almost there. But you say researching for factual information is a must. You can't repeat what TV news say because we know it is all lies. The problem is what's coming from the administration, you can't always repeat either. And I'm saying it because I don't know what your party affiliation is, but I do know that most people that talk about all of the TV news is lies usually lean right. And the same folks that are refusing to take any news network's word at face value are constantly doing it with President Trump. And I'm just going to tell you, Trump is no more reliable than MSNBC or CNN or any of these other networks. He says a lot of stuff that are not true either. He says a lot of numbers that are just out of thin air as well. I mean, I think even MAGA admits that he exaggerates numbers all the time. So where do you go for your information? It becomes an issue. I mean, but because you got MAGA that don't even trust Google. MAGA believes that only certain, like, what is it on X, Gronk or whatever that search engine. I had somebody try to correct something. I'm like, this search engine is right wing as hell. This search engine ain't no better than what you're criticizing. But it is what it is. Problem is the mainstream media, bad, Orange Man bad every day. Yeah, but the problem, okay, you're saying the problem is that the mainstream media is bad, Orange Man bad. Okay, but the right-wing media does exactly the opposite. Orange Man good. Orange Man good. If you watch Fox News, they damn near got everything but pom-poms. It's just a network that is a cheerleaders for the Trump administration. They might as well just be sitting there in skirts and pom-poms. And that's Fox. If you go to OAN or Newsmax, they might as well be sucking dick. It's even worse. You guys can clearly see how distrustful the left-wing media is, but you're watching the right-wing media thinking they're telling you the truth. They're doing the exact same thing you're complaining about. They're just telling you what you want to hear. Orange Man good. Everything they're saying is Orange Man good. He can't do anything wrong. You don't even hear about him doing anything wrong on right-wing media. So it is what it is. CNN told us Biden was fine, laughed at us for even questioning his mental health. That is true. And it reflected bad on them. Just like Fox News told us Dominion voting machines switch votes from Trump to Biden. That ain't true either. So, like I said, you can see it from one side, but you don't see it from the other side. You're watching Fox News while they're criticizing how fake CNN and MSNBC is, and they're lying to you in the process. I'm literally watching Fox News the evening of January 6th, after that protest took place. Judge Jeanine Pirro, who was still on the network at the time, oh, that's Antifa. You're in a fucking studio in New York. You're not in D.C. How do you know that's Antifa? Just on TV, just lying out of the blue to defend Trump. She said that a couple hours after it happened. Oh, that's Antifa. How the fuck you know? Just making up shit. So, yeah, like I said, you can see it coming from the left. You don't see it coming from the right. But it's coming from the right as well. Just because people are wearing pom-poms and cheerleader outfits don't mean they're telling you the truth. It's your boy Tim, the Handsome Liberal. I appreciate you guys tuning in. If you enjoy this type of dialogue, feel free to follow the program if you're watching on Instagram and TikTok. Give us a sub if you're watching on YouTube. Until then, I'll catch you guys tomorrow. I got to go and rest. See ya. And thanks for tuning in. I don't, I'm so sick I can't even figure out how to turn this shit off. I'm ready for bed.